The Eagles have lost their past 9 games to Central District, and they haven't beaten a top 2 side since, well, in more than 2 years, and had Woodville Oval this afternoon in round 22. Be good timing if the Eagles finally came good and did beat a top 2 side, and what better timing could it be?
Oh, you're not wrong, Neil, and I think for Ronnie Fuller and his men, a bit of confidence if they can beat Centrals today and really break the shackles before finals.
Well, they've played these sides twice already this season, both times Central's getting up, and the Eagles have a tendency to come from behind, and it's not a good trade against Centrals, although the Bulldogs have started very slowly in the past couple of weeks, haven't they?
Well, they're in awesome form around this time of the year. Central District's Brent Guira, I reckon, kicked around about 6 goals in this particular match, and here's one of his goals. Class player back in the lineup today for the Bulldogs, but look, the Eagles just really need to work hard and get in front early. I mean, don't try and play catch-up footy against this mob. They're just too good a unit. And, the second game was a beauty, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and there was of course a memorable game here last year, a kick after the siren from Simon Arnott that won the Bulldogs a game, and look, they're a class outfit, and to give them a start, it's a pretty dangerous thing.
The only danger with Centrals from their point of view is just the lethargy they've had in their game in the last few weeks. We saw them against Nord, and then last week Port Adelaide, and really bad starts to Centrals and uncharacteristic starts.
That first game, 58-point victory in round 7. This game we're watching round 15, an 18-point victory for Centrals, and as Tim suggested, the Eagles did show some great fight, as is their way. They are a side that will not go away, and you can guarantee an honest performance.
Yeah, they came back really hard in this last term and made the game almost a victory, but Sainsbury, great snap for goal. I think that was the one that actually settled the whole thing down.
18 points there, the final margin. Well, head-to-head across the years, it's been very close between the sides, but of course the Eagles losing 2 grand finals to Centrals along the way as well.
Yeah, those ones hurt, but certainly when the Eagles were formed in 91, they had some great form early and would have won a lot of those 18 wins then.
And we look at that premiership table, perhaps the top 4 order isn't settled. Maybe West could get to the top yet. Sturt and Port, well, they're separated there by only 2 points, but effectively it's all over with Sturt's percentage and, of course, a game in hand against North Adelaide this afternoon.
Yeah, well, this is where the Eagles have to stand up today and just make sure that they can be competitive in that final series.
Mark Passador and Chris Gowans featuring in that list of leading goal kickers, but of course Darren Bradshaw easily the best in the competition.
Great year and well done to him.
Just look at those other matches this afternoon. Westies have a clear dominance, you would think, over Glenelg. Certainly over time they have. Norwood against South would be a very interesting contest. I think if we had a top 6 perhaps, that would make it a very interesting contest, but it should be a real test for both clubs. And then Sturt, you would expect, would beat North Adelaide to confirm their spot once and for all. In the,
they certainly want to get back to winning form, because 3 weeks ago I thought they were the form side, but last couple haven't been good.
Well, Centrals, it wasn't good for them last week. They lost to Port Adelaide. They picked up quite a few injuries, including Slade. He won't play this week, and also Heath Hopwood. In the first couple of minutes he will play, even though he was slightly concussed. Josh Coulter was another one. That left cross from Craig Parry earned Parry 5 weeks on the sidelines.
Yeah, well, just before the siren, I wouldn't have thought that was the right thing to do at all, but really that wasn't good, and Centrals will have to cover those losses, and I think they've got the depth to do that. Well,
we'll just see what their coach, Roy Laird, thinks about how he can cover those losses with their depth, and it is a test for them this afternoon, and Roy Laird is with Mark Soderstrom.
Well, thanks, Neil. Hello, everyone. You're right, it will test Central District strength today. Joining me is the man who's in charge of the whole thing, Roy Laird. Roy, with so many injuries to key players, it gives some young players an opportunity to impress you prior to September?
Yeah, it does a couple of young players, but at the same time, we're really pleased with the 4 we've got coming in. Guerra, McArdle, Ware, and Cochrane, so good 4 for good substitutes.
Past couple of weeks, your team's looked uncharacteristically flat. Has there been a change now to training this week?
We've just freshened up a little bit this week, and the attitude from the players has been really positive. It's been a real good week on the track, so looking forward to the game.
And there are the Woodville West Torrens boys as they prepare for battle today. With the Eagles struggling to beat the top side so far this year, Ron Fuller knows a victory today is very important for their finals preparation.
Today's our last opportunity to do it too, so certainly going into the finals we'd be looking for a win, just for some confidence and self-belief.
And this year your team could probably take the mantle as the comeback kings. What have you done this week to address the sluggish starts?
Well, what we do every week, it's not by design, I can assure you. We'd certainly looking to start the game fever pitch straight out the box and not have to play catch-up footy. It just puts a lot of strain on you, especially when you're playing the top teams.
And Ron Fuller mentioning there, they need to get a good start. They actually have a bye in round 23, so this is their last minor round game. Mark Stevens, the interesting inclusion there at centre-half back.
Yes, he was underdone, and I think last week coming back to AFL, just a little early for him. It won't hurt him to get 100 minutes here today.
Just have a look at the toss now. Stephen Hall captaining the Eagles this afternoon, and Heath Hopwood deputising in the absence of Daniel Healy this afternoon. And kicking to the left of screen, the Eagles obviously winning the toss. As we look at the Central's lineup, still a strong lineup, but as we have mentioned, they will be tested for their depth.
Yeah, and I think they've got enough names there. That's as good a lineup as they've had all year. They'd like to have, Arnott and those sort of fellas back in that lineup. Slade's a real big miss for me. I reckon he's just one of those guys that gets in and under and really starts a lot of the movements.
As we said, the Eagles winning the toss, kicking to the left of screen. Sodas will tell us what that means in terms of the weather.
Well, it has been a mixed bag so far today weather-wise. We did have some showers early. The sun is just gone behind the clouds at the moment, but hopefully it will be out for most of the day. Currently 12.5 degrees. I have been out to the middle of the ground, believe it or not, Neil, and it looks like it's in super condition despite the rain, and the breeze will probably just favour the team kicking to the right of screen.
Thanks for that, Sodas. We look there at the Central's boys just readying themselves. Interesting also, out of those injuries, Simon Arnott is also out this week. He did have a driver and missed several weeks, and then last week played. He's pulled up a bit sore. So another player who's out. So 4 of their main choice players are out this afternoon.
Yeah, and there's a man on screen that needs to play pretty well today, both for the Eagles and himself. Mark Stevens just coming back a little early to AFL, and I think he'll play well today. But Arnott is a big loss. I mean, he's a guy that I hope he hasn't re-injured his driver, because they're hard things to get over. You can run, you can get everything right, but when you kick that ball, that's when the real big test comes, and he might have damaged it again.
And that's obviously one of the problems for Ben Hart in the AFL too. He's got a driver problem similar as you described. He can do everything except he kicks a ball and he can feel it.
Well, it's the worst injury I had in my career, Neil. I ended up missing 10 games in one season with it because I kept trying to come back and splitting it again, and it's a really nasty one to get over. You think you're there, but you never know.
We talk about the depth of these two clubs. The Eagles won the reserves by 65 points, so there's a real test and a measure of where the clubs are at. And we're just about ready for a start this afternoon. Important round 22 action. Here's Michael Maney.
Thanks, Neil. Good opportunity for the Eagles to beat a side above them on the ladder, as both yourself and Tim mentioned earlier on. 6 wins and 2 losses at home this year for the Eagles. So the umpires there, Doddridge, Williams, Richard Williams and Peter Williams. So we can say umpire Williams can get away with it on occasions today. Umpire Peter Williams with the football in the middle of the Woodville Oval. Very much looking forward to the game. Paul Lindsay needs to give his side an armchair ride. Paul Schooler, important link in the chain for Central District. Siren for round 22, the penultimate round for the season. Eagles and Centrals, first versus third. Schooler got it down. No clear centre clearance. McArdle in there, wants to get a touch of the football early in his return for the Bulldogs this afternoon. Sam McArdle, after doing a knee last year, has had a slow build-up to season 2003. There he is. Be looking to press his claims for a finals berth. Sam McArdle, good bounce by umpire Williams, knocked down by James Gowans. Good to see at least one of them's had a haircut. I bet you both of them have this week.
They would do that just to annoy you, Michael, wouldn't
Well, we wanted them to have a crew cut, Tim. One of them, at least. I'm quite prepared to go and have a crew cut with one of them to make sure that we can pick them out.
Mate, they've been going around all their life getting 2-for-1 deals everywhere. You think they're not going to do it together?
They will, no question about that. Taken away by Lindsay. Quentin Graham hooked it round the body. Which way will it bounce? Steinburner ducked it back inboard to Chris Gowans. Just got under the kick a bit. A wobbly old ball to half forward, standing under it and getting a free kick as Stevens. All and sundry be pretty pleased with that.
That's good courage, isn't it? Because they're horrible footballs to stand under. You just got to wait and wait and wait. You know that somebody's going to crunch into you. So good courage.
Mark Stevens looking to get some form on the board. Might be chopped off by James Gowans. Well rowed by Hay. He's got a man over the top in Swatala. He's pretty dangerous near 50. Kicks it up, looking for Shell. Can't take the mark. Over the back, Ciccalella, as he does. Just rows the back of the pack. Somehow got his way out of there. Good use of hands. Henschel couldn't get on the end of it. Stevens got the handball, got a free kick. Umpire said play on, advantage rule. Over the top, away goes Inkster. Just gets caught up in the tackle. Stood up, got a good handball to Stokes. Stokes kicks up forward. Not a good kick, looking for Ellis. And Harada takes the steadying market back.
Harada played on, or called to play on at least. Look for Steinberner. Wynn carries it a little bit away from Steinberner and into the arms of Hopwood. Just a look at this tackle. Well done by Hay.
Good tackle, but he got his arms free, so well done to Inkster.
They share the ball around half back now. Hopwood, as we said, acting captain this afternoon. Down towards the wing. Strong mark by Krieg. Inboard he liked to go. Hopwood, good bump. Krieg followed up as well. Now he's in trouble. Eagles desperate. Skipworth over the ball. Peter Williams, the umpire in question, comes in and says, I'll bounce it.
And Neil Cross, Michael Maney, I'm sure that Mark Soderstrom said that the breeze is going to ride a screen, and yet Hall won the toss and went into it.
Curious choice, although we look over there, it looks a bit blustery, perhaps blowing slightly across the ground. Maybe Stephen Hall got confused. Another bounce on centre wing coming up.
Could be attacked. They want to work hard into the breeze first term. Don't like it myself. You got the chance to go with the breeze, always do it.
Paul Lindsay being sent off. No, maybe not.
He's back again.
He was quite prepared to go off, I think, on the blood rule, but didn't go off. Schooler with the tap down. James Gowans. Bello trapped the ball, was trapped himself. Can't get rid of it. James Gowans took the ball out of his arms, and that was ruled to have been a throw.
Free kick to Ciccalella. Spot Skipworth and some space on the wing. Skipworth just gets around the 100 gamer in Bello. He'll kick it inside 50. Not a good one. Hopwood just dives after it, just knocked it on. Ellis, good strong play by the young man. Loose handball over the top. It's all Bulldogs there. Thomas, look for off the hide. Picked up by Regolo. And the Eagles get the first. Vinny Regolo on the end of it. He'll kick a goal or two for you. Give you 100%. And the first one on the board to the Eagles.
Yeah, it's good pressure going forward. Great tackle. I've just picked that player up to load that tackle. That was an excellent effort.
Williams.
Well done, Williams. That's his goal. Pressure in the forward line inside 50 is so dangerous, and that allowed Vinny to pick the ball up and get a quick goal for himself. And sporting the new hairdo, you'd like to get a goal early.
And he did.
Well done.
So here's Richard Williams bouncing the ball in the middle. Lovely high bounce. Skipworth, beautiful row. High and long into the forward line. Harada got his man away from the ball. Here's Regolo again. Just lost the grip on the ball. Brooks got the hand pass back to Harada. Under siege, Harada. Stokes almost able to get the ball. Hopwood gathers it. Slick hand pass away. It's into the open again. Regolo, no, couldn't get the kick forward. Finally, they'll clear from the back, off the hide. His kick wasn't perfect. In fact, it was far from perfect. Bock picked it up from an acute angle. Bock has kicked it out on the full.
This is good for the Eagles, though. Good attacking footy into the breeze that we think is blowing to the right of screen. Wasn't a good execution of the kick. Just got a bit close then, but good attacking footy by the Eagles early. And Lindsay, so important, getting his hands to the footy to blokes like Ciccalella and Skipworth.
Hopwood had plenty of the ball already this afternoon. Dual best and fairest at Centrals. Out long to the far side of the ground. Regolo fries and punches. Schooler, good presence, waited, picked the right man, and that was Thomas. He's loose on the wing, into centre half forward with the kick. Well read by Henschel. Got his hand to the ball, couldn't control it. Sainsbury off the ground. Errant hand pass, and again, the Eagles will load up.
Wigley, the man who got it away. Hay and Lindsay boxed out the back to Newitt. Newitt will kick it inside 50. Man all on his own. On the outer side is Skipworth. Skipworth ducks back in, looks for Ellis. Good play, Skipworth. Good vision and the execution first class, and Dale Ellis will kick for goal.
And a good block by the umpire Craig Doddridge there, because he's just standing in the wrong, and he got in the way of a Central defender.
He'll get a 1%er for that.
Just have a look at Brooks.
Yes, good block. I'll tell you what though, much better kick by Skipworth on that occasion. First one missed the target, that was a good one.
He's got 10-5 for the year, Ellis. He's pushed it away to the right, I think. And he's missed from about 45 metres out directly in front.
Big fella, isn't he? And I like the way he just presents himself, make sure he's always a target. But should have finished off on that occasion. That would have gave the Eagles a nice bit of momentum.
Boys, I've just been trying to chase up the reasoning behind Simon Arnott's late withdrawal. The official word from the club, general soreness.
GS covers a lot of things, doesn't it?
The general.
Ball back into play. This is James Gowans. This is Chris Gowans. They work hard together. Chris Gowans did not dispose of that correctly. The umpire said play on. Cicolella working in close. Somehow the vision was superb. Knew it. The kick forward, looking and finding Phillippo, who just couldn't handle it. Off to Hyde. Good tap and a good shepherd to back it up. Tyson Hay with the hand pass to Thomas. Now down the far side of the ground. Nothing to kick to. Great smother coming in there, as Tim suggested. Thomas follows up. Still nothing to kick to on that far side of the ground. As a result, turned over. Bock with the mark.
Good pressure. I reckon he forced that ball onto his boot a little quicker than what he wanted to, Thomas, because just some good, I think they call it referred pressure.
Like referred pain. Very good. Ellis with the mark. Nice lead. Eagles looking to keep possession through half forward now. Passador on the lead ahead of Ellis and opts to go longer. Phillippo, he comes. Phillippo the target from behind. Off to Hyde. Read it better. And now they'll swing it to this side of the ground.
Off to Hyde to Guerra as they switch. Over the top, Steinburner. Now he's got a paddock in front of him. He'll have a few bounces, Steinburner. There's one of them. Go for another one. He'll get about 3 or 4 in before someone comes to him. Nobody going near. He's had about 4. He may get the 5th in. No. Decides to kick it inside 50. Looking for McArdle, but Wigley just gets back in the gap. Takes some courage, Tim.
Oh, that was fantastic again. Their defenders are really keeping their heads up and taking the marks that count.
Wigley short to Nathan Bock, who was having a shot for goal a moment ago. Long kick to the wing. Big pack of players touched off the boot. Taken by Skipworth. Handball, Cicolella to no man's land. Lindsay got it towards Stevens. Stevens, that is a good kick to Inkster. And Inkster, a couple of kicks out from goal. Loves to kick on the left leg. He'll kick it deep into attack Inkster. Long kick looking for Phillippo. It curls around and bounces through for one behind.
Yeah, could have maybe straightened up and gone straight for goal in the first place. I think in the end he was just hitting it down to full forward. Didn't realise how good a kick he was. But just with a guy like that, he's a natural left footer. He's always going to turn there. I think Chris Gowan sort of just stood on the mark waiting for him to go back or get to his right. But got to be alert and know your opposition.
Breeze or no breeze, Central's struggling at the moment, Tim. Interesting last 2 weeks. They've kicked just 1 point last week in the opening term and 2 points the previous week in the opening term. So they've had their problems, and of course they've also got those injuries that we've talked about as well. Here's Guerra, shut down quickly. Coming hard behind him was Williams. Looks a tough unit, Williams, and Guerra we know very much a tough unit. Hopwood, Moggy, he's touched the ball a lot in this quarter. We'll come to you for a stat in a minute.
Okay, that's 7 times already.
Oh, there you go. Here's Brooks. Guess it shows that they have been under pressure, and that time under pressure Brooks. Count that as a kick. Just get it down towards the wing. Here's Herrera under siege, and discretion the better part of valor.
He did it very well, Neil. That's a good experienced head there.
Thrown in right on centre wing in the interchange area. Lindsay and Schooler, neither could get a hand to it. Now Lindsay very much aware Stokes was on the outside of him. Good hand pass. Stokes under pressure down towards half forward. Now they come clear. Krieg just belts it long over the head, carries the pack. Chance for Graham, runs onto it. Graham now throws it in front of him. Umpire throws it twice, gets away with it. And again, the Eagles, through Allison this time, able to clean up at the back.
Allison's kick and the non-preferred, and Hall just kept his eyes on the footy, backpedaling. Plenty of courage there from the skipper, the acting skipper in the absence of Gavin Colville. Kicks it to the wing. Over the back, Ellis spoiled his own man there in Stevens. Stevens copped one on the way through, no free kick. Gowans, box in there for the Eagles. Big pack develops bounce.
I've just talked to young Dale Ellis there. If he's watching the replay, young fella, your teammates in front, call him in and just make sure nobody else comes from behind like you did. Love his enthusiasm though, that's the main thing.
Eyes on the football, but really needed to let Mark Stevens have the run there. Well pointed out, Tim. Ball in dispute. All done by Floriani. Just knocked it, though, into a pack. So this slow start by Central District really must be worrying Roy Laird at the 11-minute mark, and they still really haven't looked like getting a goal.
Look, it's something that sides have done, and I know that there was a particular coach who used to take the legs off of his team, maybe 4 weeks before finals. It just takes you a while to recover from that.
James Gowans on the left, well trapped by Henschel, just worked Shell out of it. Good handball, releases Stevens, who goes over the top. Back to Newitt. So they work it out of defence. Henschel, who's normally a pretty good kick, kicks it toward the wing. Oh, Hopwood! What a great fly by Hopwood. A shame he couldn't take the mark.
Well, there you go. Great hanger, but paid for on the shoulder. Now, if he had taken the mark, what would have happened? It was a classic Kappa leap, wasn't it?
Yeah, just the free kick against Heath Hopwood there, but what a leap.
Great leap. Ciccalella at least with a free kick.
That's it, right on it.
Helicopter kick turns up in the hands of Bello. Another 100 gamer this afternoon. Bello goes down towards the wing, out of bounds. Bock taking it across. Gowan's not happy with the delivery, and with good reason. So does Central's bench.
Yeah, starting on the woodwork for the Bulldogs. Damien Arnold, Richard Cochrane and 20-year-old debutant Elijah Ware from Port Pirie.
His first season and then debut, as you said. Shell taking the mark at centre-half forward or thereabouts for Centrals. Wants the hand pass off. Bello on his left leg straightens, and umpire has picked out a holding decision in the forward 50.
Oh, dear.
And it's going the way of Centrals.
McArdle,
and
I reckon.
McArdle has not played a game since round 4 this year. Sam McArdle kicked only 2 goals, 3 for the season. A key forward, as you see, got a very interesting way of lining the ball up. Let's have a look at how effective it is. Very effective. Opening goal to Centrals, and Stephen Hall obviously pinched there for one of his very famous wrestling holds.
Yeah, well, the umpire's right there. That's why we have 3 umpires right on the line, and he's paid the decision. That's fair enough. And if it's hanging on, well, it's a pretty costly one, dead in front of goal. Just got to be careful of that, because Centrals were struggling to get a goal any other way at the moment. Getting plenty of it around the midfield and defensive area, but great pressure by the Eagles in their forward 50, and they just got to be able to maintain that and keep pressure on in the middle.
Good sign for Daniel Shell, stretching and taking a lovely mark at half forward and dishing off. So set that one up, back in the centre. A goal apiece. Skipworth held without the footy, no free kick. In goes Lindsay. No nonsense, back to Skipworth, who continues to get possessions. High kick, Stokes, well done, knocked away by Krieg. 100 gamer in Steinburner will get a free kick for over the shoulder in that passage of play. His eyes on the football, tried to crash through and cop one. Nathan Steinburner, former Port Adelaide Power player. Well ensconced in Bulldog territory, kicks inside 50, front and square. Chris Gowans. Ball just touched off the boot. Sansbury loves a goal. James Gowans hooks it round the body and just misses to the right. They normally gobble those up, the Gowans twins.
Yeah, well, it would have been a nice one for James and for the team, just to get them settled in to a first term scoreboard pressure, but not to be. Didn't curl it around far enough.
Stephen Hall, gentleman there to bring the ball back in. Just gets 20 metres away and belts it long. Target is Lindsay, 2-on-1 Lindsay, judges it best. A couple of touches, umpire called play on. Didn't matter, he was always intent on playing on. Box kick, landed short of the target, but Stokes was good enough to gather. Hand pass over the top to Regolo. Closing from 50, Regolo drives it up in front of goal. Another test, this time Passador gathers it for the Eagles. Off to Ciccalella, the 1-2, Passador going backwards. Now they're outside 50 again. Inkster, bad hand pass. Inkster comes in, gathers the ball again. Brooks went over the top. Still he's in trouble. They've gone back 30, 40 metres with those handballs. Finally, they get another opportunity. Ciccalella strides out, then gives it to Newitt. Now Wigley, presence of mind. Bock, or rather Lindsay, running to the far side of the ground with the mark. And big Lindsay, opportunity. Well, what a hand pass for sure. It seems his way. But instead, looks like he may even line up for goal.
I swear there was about 20 handballs in that passage of play, wouldn't you? I reckon they could have reduced it to about 10 and made it a lot cleaner.
Well, they've had 17 possessions since Central's last touched the ball.
That's it,
This will be 18, will it, Moggy? As he comes in, stutters, slightly misjudges where the mark was. Guerra actually claimed it was touched off the boot. The umpire in Richard Williams gives it the all clear, and the Eagles have a second goal on the board.
That was a good kick by Paul Lindsay in the end. I mean, he had to settle the whole thing down because it took a lot of hard work and a lot of handballs to get to this passage of play. but then he came in and he knew where he had to kick the footy. You're right, Neil Cross. I think he just got a little close to the man on the mark, but he knew where to pitch the ball, and he did it particularly well, which was just inside that left-hand goal post.
Coaches love to see the ruckman run forward occasionally and kick a goal. Found himself in open space. Paul Lindsay gets his 3rd goal for the season. Back in the centre, Newitt works hard in and under. Centre clearance, goes to the Eagles. All kicked out wide. Bragolo will be first there. Can't keep it in. Boundary throw in. Good start to this game. The Eagles just pinching a couple of early goals.
They're getting a couple of centre clearances too when it comes back. They're working hard in the middle, and Sikalella and Skipworth getting their hand on the footy.
Work by Lindsay again, just got it down. Hard-working Newitt, another possession to him. Just screwed it round the body, but Hopwood tidies it up at the back to Krieg. Krieg will go wide to off to Hyde. He takes the mark in front of Filippo, who hasn't had much of it yet. Kick was a shocker. Mown down, all done by Filippo. Steinburner tried to get through. Matthew Stokes just wraps him up. Umpire Richard Williams. Now, which way will he pay this?
Oh, it's going to be a bounce.
Will be.
But a good tackle, pinned the ball to him. He couldn't get it away, but again, it's just holding it in the area.
Good bounce by umpire Williams. Knocked down. Brooks wrapped up by Floriani. That's a terrific tackle. Ball held to him. Another bounce. 17, make that 18 minutes gone. Just 7 points the difference.
Good work there. Passador coming in to complete the tackle on Brooks. Again, it's still within their 50-metre arc.
Very close. Schooler knocks it down. We'll get the trifecta in. We'll have 3 bounces within a minute.
Lindsay just let Schooler get in front the last couple of bounces. He's got to really work hard to get in front here. Maybe even hit it into the paddock. That's beyond that 50-metre arc. Let him run onto it. He did work well to get in front that time, but Gowans chopped it off.
We get another bounce down. Richard Williams again, getting plenty of practice in. You see that little black microphone on the front of Richard Williams there. We've got him mic'd up this afternoon. Careful what you say, Richard. Ball comes down. And still it's scrambly in there. Sikalella shows how it's done. The hand pass just a little bit too slick. Steinburner, good work in a confined space. Krieg's lovely little chip found Chris Gowans. Found his brother inevitably, James, off half back. Shell, good lead, good mark. Inside quickly, Guerra. Went from left leg to right leg, not his preferred option. Sainsbury gathered well. This is Chris Gowans, has a look at goal from 50 metres across the goal. Bello couldn't take it. He'll be closed down quickly and taken over the line.
You know, in the end, I would have thought that he could have gone for goal. I actually think it was particularly unselfish to aim for Bello, but with the breeze at your back, I would have had a crack, and I think he would have made it. I wouldn't have.
Lindsay, you wouldn't have thought about it, not from 50. Oh, is that deliberate? Wait on the umpire. He says throw it in. Interesting, Williams.
Yeah.
Just caught in a tackle. Bello, one of the top 10 tacklers in the league, had a grip of him.
Boys, a rucking change for Central Districts. Paul Schooler's been rested. Damien Arnold is just hovering there on the half-back line.
Quentin Graham this time is opposed to Lindsay. Sikalella somehow shook off the tackle. Outside 50 with the kick. Some relief. Krieg grabbed. Hand pass over the top. Shell, can he gather? Yes, he can. Now off the left leg. Not a bad kick from Shell. James Gowans couldn't get there. Received some support from Swatala. Gowans now straightens. Has a crack at goal. To his brother, maybe. Chris can't take it. Steinburner had a hand on the ball in the end. Gave away a free kick.
They're working hard in defence, the Eagles. Getting their head over the football, and they don't want to give anything away at the moment.
Free kick to Williams. Good weighted kick. Was looking for Wigley. Mopped up by Stokes. Great tackle. Shell. Not rewarded. Yes, he is. Umpire Doddridge right on the spot.
Yeah, good decision in the end. It's just a great tackle. Pinned his arm. He couldn't get rid of it.
He lays it off to Bello, who smashes it long. It's a high kick. Lindsay's there. Umpire's whistle go. Free kick goes to the Eagles, and the last man getting up there is Paul Lindsay.
I think it'll be Mark Stevens' free kick, though.
Well spotted, Tim. Stevens. This gives to Sikalella. He gives back to Hall, so they look like they're going to switch it. Centrals have manned up pretty well, except for Allison at half-back. Paul Allison, the Eagles' leading goal kicker last year, has kicked 2 behinds this year. Has played mainly at half-back for them. Short kick to the other Blondie in Sikalella. 21.5 minutes gone. Still 7 points the difference in favour of the Eagles. Sikalella just waits for something to open up. Kicks it long. It's a good kick against a slight breeze. Well, just carries over. Regolo, he's dynamic. Floriani just jammed it on the boot in the end. Over Brooks, off to Hyde. Maybe infringed upon by Filippo. Ball's inside 50 for the Eagles. Filippo gets involved again. Surely a free kick. We get a free kick for being held well off the football by off to Hyde. And Sam Filippo will shoot for goal. He is a sharpshooter, the big man. There it is.
Geez, nice cartwheel just to emphasise that he was taken.
Yes. They practice those things, you know. Yeah.
He just had hold of his arm. He might have thought he had the one-arm tackle going and just continued on with it.
Incredible accuracy this year from Sam Filippo. 18 goals, 2. So that's not too bad. You'd like that. From 20 shots, 18-2. He'll kick from about 35 metres out. Tricky kick this because he's going to have to perhaps draw it left to right. Mark Soderstrom's our expert on the breeze and kicking for goal.
Boys, the breeze has got me dumbfounded. I think it's swirling now.
Filippo, good looking kick. I think he might have just kicked the rear behind for the year he has.
That really did go from left to right. Michael Money called it correctly. And there wasn't enough punch on the kick to make it hold its line for long enough.
Tim, I think maybe a few Kevin Sheedy, Windy Hill tricks have been going on with a windsock, and it's maybe set in a particular position here.
That is an old trick.
Well, here's Hay. Takes his time, then belts it long to the far side of the ground. Steinburner the target. Knew it comes late, too late in fact. Umpire awards the mark. Steinburner plays on, immediately turns it over. Here's Williams. Round the corner on his non-preferred foot. Not a bad kick. Oh, Inkster judged it better than Hay. Now they slide it forward, the Eagles. Great hand pass coming in from Passador, and Wigley misses from perhaps 15, 20 metres out.
Yeah, that was a disappointing miss because he's done pretty good stuff in this first quarter, Wigley, but great effort by all the other players to just keep the ball alive by tapping it forward, and he's a little shell-shocked himself at missing that one.
Got a bit excited, Tom Wigley hasn't kicked a goal this year, just one for his career in SANFL footy.
That's probably why.
Long kick by Guerra. That's a booming kick by Guerra. Just about into the centre square. Well roved by Sikalella. Thought about giving it off. Gives it off now toward Bock. Bock wants to give it by hand again to Ellis. Someone have a shot for goal. Ellis kicks a fadeaway kick out of bounds on the full. And I think Tim Genova just an overuse of the footy again.
Michael, that was 3 handballs too many. I think Sikalella should have shaped his body up and had a crack at goal. I mean, they've just got to get it and go direct at it, because just overusing it puts themselves under pressure.
And they're under pressure again, trying to come out of defence. Here's Guerra, doesn't waste time. This time, belts it long, Passador going back, just couldn't get a hand on it. Now they come through the middle centrals. Brooks, he's over it. Bello is there as well, or rather Sainsbury. And in the end, we'll get a bounce down inside the centre square, slightly towards the Central District end of the ground.
All in all, boys, it's nearly the end of the first term. It's been a good quarter for the Eagles.
Well into time on, in fact. Just approaching that 25-minute mark as the ball thumped into pretty hard surface, despite the weather in Adelaide this week. Plenty of rain. Here's Thomas around the corner. Graham making great strides to the ball. Bounce avoids him. Was kind to Stevens. Comes back the other way. Loose man on the wing was Skipworth. Good kick from Stevens. Krieg pushed him late. Skipworth. No quality lead ahead. Certainly no loose players. So he just takes his time. A lead by 9 points, the Eagles. Been a good start to this game. Skipworth finally belts it long. Lindsay the target. Good mark. Big Lindsay in front of Arnold. And now around quickly on the left foot. Inside 50. Passador on the lead. Good kick from the big guy. And reward for Mark Passador.
Lindsay, around on that left, good lead, good pass. This will test Passador, because this will be needs to be a pretty powerful kick to go into the teeth of that breeze and hold its line. So let's have a look how good he is.
In reasonable nick, 22 possessions, 6 marks and 5 goals last week against Norwood. On the siren, his kick for goal is a beauty! Oh, great start for the Eagles. 3 goals for 22, leading Central 1-1-7 at quarter time.
Well, you couldn't hope for better to finish up the quarter with a goal like that. Just lifts the whole team as you come into the quarter-time huddle. And that was a superb quarter by the Eagles. We said they had to be hard in close and pretty miserly in defence. They did all those things. Their forward line pressure, though, was the highlight for me. Just inside 50 and around that arc, they just tackled and tackled. The only thing they probably did was overuse the footy a little. Centrals, again, have started lethargically. A little bit more run in their legs, but put themselves under pressure, and I think the Eagles' pressure was pretty outstanding.
Well, Vinny Regalo would have been happy with his outstanding start to the match, wouldn't he? As we see here, just coming in and capitalising from point-blank range. He's always been happy about it.
In the call, Neil, the way they just kept the ball alive when they were inside packs, just tapping it forward and just making it always an opportunity to get a goal, and that's how Vinny Regalo's goal came off. And great tackle there, that was by Shell. Yeah, Steinburn has been pretty good in his 100th game, and congratulations to him and Marco Bello on reaching that milestone, but they haven't been as flat as I've seen them in recent times. That was paid a over-the-shoulder free kick, but nearly a great hanger by Hopwood.
Interesting though, Centrals though, for all their efforts this afternoon, they still only had 2 scoring shots in the opening term, and we mentioned that last week was only 1 scoring shot and it was a minus score, and the week before 2 scoring shots, and they were both behinds.
Certainly the Eagles look a lot more lively. Great kick for goal that was by Paul Lindsay. The one we just saw.
Just carried the pack, didn't it, Passador? And we look at those goal kickers. Firstly for the Eagles, Mark Passador, and you mentioned Lindsay and Vinny Regalo, all of those goals in those highlights there, and then Sam McArdle for Central District.
Yeah, just the single, and you know, stats don't show a lot there. Not a great deal of difference in most of the criteria, but certainly all the Eagles were mine.
Yes, but interesting though, the inside 50s, I would have thought they were very shallow inside 50s, 13 to 10 in favour of the Eagles, but the Bulldogs' entries would only just have gone in.
That's a good point, and probably the Eagles had a lot more scoring opportunities, and they really created them themselves just by their fierce tackling inside there and just keeping that footy alive. Great quarter for them.
Just look at Ronnie Fuller addressing his men there, and I don't know if you could read that whiteboard if you're one of the players, unless you were maybe Paul Lindsay. It seems to be shaped to the sky. So we're going to have a listen anyway to what Ronnie Fuller's talking about.
Closer, it's like it's one-on-one, so just moving around zone on. All right, first one zone, see what happens. That's a good idea. So get into our zones, get our heads around what we're doing. 3-4-5, yeah. First one, 3-4-5, all right. And that was good, Dale, bringing the ball back. Big strong punch back is fantastic. The set sicker up, all right? So when we spoil in that zone, it's not just a half spoil, it's a real big spoil. So we clear their blokes front and centre, we bring the ball back and we're facing goal. Fantastic, Steve. I'll give us lots of run. Trent, get in front and attack the ball. You're far better player than him. Get in front and attack the footy, okay? Just huddle up. Tackling's enormous. Tackling is enormous. We're something like 10 out of 14, so we're going well with our tackling. In front of contest, very good. Centre square clearance is very good. But we talked about the first quarter, we talked about that before the game, we talked about it all week. We talked about one quarter now, aren't we? All right? Now's the important part. To duplicate it now in the centre squares where we win the ball. In the centre squares where we win the game. Dale, come up. We don't want you cluttering that back, so just come up so there's a big space in front of Sam. Okay, one out in the goal square. All right. If we get a freebie, if we don't overcommit, I don't want you to be 20 metres ahead of him, be just in front of him. So if we get a freebie, we'll nail him and that'll expose the bloke zoning off. And then we've got guys running. Let's hit the full forward in a hurry. Hit the full forward in a hurry, but out in front. The same as Pass, Timmy, Sam, Dale, any of our forwards, anyone coming up, even Stokesy and Bocky, if they're leading, honour the lead because they'll try and flag off, won't they? All right, always honour the lead, just control those kicks, but we want numbers running through the channel. All right, control the kick, honour the lead, but get numbers.
Well, neither of these sides last week were able to kick goals in the first quarter of their respective games. Today, the Eagles have 3. They are on top. Ron Fuller, very happy, and a positive huddle here, just making sure that the Eagles keep on top with their set plays, things like their kick-outs and their ball-ups. And I can tell you, though, I'm sure now the breeze is definitely favouring the left of screen, not the right, so there is something very fishy going on with the flags on top of the scoreboard.
Thanks for that, Sodas. That picture there would tell you a different story. But anyway, congratulations to Daryl Burgess of Darwin for winning our tipping competition for the week. Shows you we have viewers all over this great land of ours. Brian Flowers still leading the way. Smoker is running him down.
Yeah, well, there's a few there and only a couple of rounds to fix it all up for them.
And I can tell you that the Eagles this season have now won 10 first quarters and they've lost 10 first quarters. So they're 50-50 in the opening term. So it'll be very interesting.
Like a toss of a coin for them, isn't it?
It is just about. And they did win the toss today and they did win the quarter, so you never know. But they do have a good record when leading at half-time. I think 11 wins and no losses. So they'd be confident if they can maintain this 15-point advantage going into half-time.
Well, Ronnie Fuller was very pleased with everything, and obviously it set 3 or 4 targets for them, and they achieved all of that. And just important this quarter too, they keep that forward 50 open when they go inside it, and give their forwards that first opportunity.
And Ronnie Fuller is with Sodas now.
Ron, much better start this week.
Well, we're not 5 goals behind, so that's a good sign. But we just got to persist now and make sure we keep getting in front and attacking the footy.
And that breeze looked a little bit tricky, but it no doubt did favour the way you were kicking that first quarter, you think?
Well, in the reserves it favour that end, and I'm sure the ball's carrying a little bit more that end.
Thanks, mate.
No worries.
Did everybody a favour by slowing down and stopping and not going off the ground straight away. Ready for the second quarter, here's Michael Maney.
Thanks, Neil. We must thank the coaches and all the officials in the SANFL this year. They really do help out ABC television to keep us right up to date with what's going on. Well done, Mark. Second term about to get underway, round 22 of SANFL football. It's the Eagles by 15 points. Schooler and Lindsay nullify each other. Lindsay goes with a secondary tap. Sikalella, ball magnet, jammed it on the boot. Krieg running with the football, just dishes off. Thomas couldn't go with it. Skill error, Passador out the back to Inkster. He loves the left leg, tries to get back round. Good handball, opens up the play to Bock. This could be an early foray forward. Filippo couldn't get hold. He will get a free kick. The second that Off to Hyde is given away to Sam Filippo. He couldn't kick a goal in that first term, but he may have nailed this one, Tim.
Yeah, I think Off to Hyde did the right thing here. He was holding on to Filippo for balance. He just needed to let go at that last minute because it became obvious, and experience like Filippo makes it known, as he did in the first term, and this time he's just got to make him pay.
And the umpires see a tug of that jumper. They look for it these days. They love to see those jumpers tugged. They'll blow the whistle every time. Sam Filippo. This one behind. The kick right behind it. Deadly accurate. So the Eagles get an early goal in the second term.
Well, that's the way to do it. When you get a free kick like that, you've got to make him pay, and he did it on this occasion. But again, they kept that forward 50 open. Sam Filippo down there one-on-one. It puts, yes, any defender, football coming in quickly, one-on-one is the worst nightmare. And when it's coming in often, and the Eagles a great start. Another centre clearance is exactly what Ron Fuller wanted.
I went to the netball last night, and that's one of the great tactics of Catherine Harvey-Williams. Just try and hold the blind side of your player as you try and stretch forward to spoil the ball. And Off to Hyde, just getting caught there. Sam Filippo with the goal. The margin out to 21 points in favour of the Eagles. Bulldogs under real siege here. Again in the middle, big battle. Socket forward. First to the ball, McArdle couldn't handle it. Stokes could. Yeah. McArdle held on to. Will get the free kick. Allison, the offender, not very happy.
Yeah, that was in the end not necessary, and cost the Eagles another thrust forward.
Hay, big kick, uses that big kick to effect. Shell from behind, couldn't take it. Stevens, boy, he's a strong player. You've got to think he's got a chance to play in AFL finals. Look at that. Eyes on the ball.
He'll be back, don't worry.
Stokes from defence for the Eagles, looks for Bock, and across the front, good mark by high flying and poor disposal by Inkster. Here's Swatala. Cross goals looking for Shell. Great disposal. That's how you dispose of the ball. Adam Swatala showing how it's done. Daniel Shell now lining up. Just have another quick. There's a squeeze around. Didn't like what he saw. Hay, who is a long kick. We saw it just a moment ago. Thumps it long again. This time, again, Stevens is back there. The Rock.
Yeah, some good signs there for him and for the Adelaide Football Club, but doing a job for the Eagles today. Big leap by Shell, but nowhere near it. Just Timothy Inkster, that fantastic mark he took earlier. Just when he gave up, you just got to go out there and encourage him. Don't stop it, just keep doing it. Don't want to go into a shell, just keep having a crack.
Kick by Stevens.
That's it.
In front, good work by Williams. A reasonable player for the Eagles. It's his inclusion a few weeks ago. Kicks down looking for Passador. Normally hits the ball pretty hard. Finds the boundary, 3.5 minutes gone. Early goal in this quarter to Sam Filippo. He's taken the margin out to 21 points. Hot coffee getting a workout there. Got to be a hardened supporter to get out today. Although the sun is out, good day for football. Big pack of players, Bello. Ball paddled out the back, Sikalala. Can't get through Quentin Graham. And umpire Peter Williams races in and will bounce.
Good stuff in close, though. Don't give the football up. Keep forcing it forward your way.
And your coats required for today, even though the sun is out. Good bounce, free kick, held on. It'll go to Schooler against Lindsay. Paul Schooler, whose game has gone to another level this year in this AFL footy. He has made his mark. Long kick, inside 50 at the front. That's about his third strong mark this term, Mark Stevens. The Crows would really be liking what they're seeing at the moment.
Take him off. Play him tomorrow.
Gee, it'd be a point worth thinking about. Stevens across to Sikalella. Short kick out of defence. Hayden Skipworth centres it back into the corridor to Floriani, so they're just waiting to build. Bock gives a lead on this side of the ground. Off shot. John Floriani, the team rules, looks up. Kicks towards Lindsay, over the back. Foot race. Heath Hopwood, who played about 5 seconds of football last week. There's a bit of ground to Krieg. Krieg jammed it on the boot. Lucky went to Bello. Ducks back inboard to Hopwood, who's got Gowans. Uses him in some space. James Gowans. Wobbly old helicopter kick. And could have done better with it. And a good relieving mark taken by Wigley.
And again, they look around and take their time, the Eagles. Wigley, the far side, he's picked out a 2-on-1 and got away with it.
Chris, let him
Gowans
go.
and Bello closing in on Stevens, but he took a strong mark opposed to two smaller players and given a bit of space by the kick. This kick carries the pack. Skipworth with good pace, pursued. Flicks out. No, he doesn't flick out a hand pass. Eventually he does. Floriani then short. And the kick inside 50 wasn't too bad, but Newitt couldn't pull it in. It's out of bounds on the full. Just turn it over to Hopwood. They'll want to switch play. That opportunity seems to have gone now. No, he still has an opportunity. If they work it well, it'll go to Gowans, then to Thomas, next in the chain. Thomas, now with a bit of space in front of him. Graham leads, he's led too early. Thomas with a bounce and then looks upfield. The kick was awkward. In fact, it was worse than that. It was just terrible. Ellis, hand pass forward. Sikalella, hand pass back. Now Stokes. There should be somebody loose inside 50, you'd think. Stokes belted high. Hopwood just gets his player under the ball in Regolo. Ball spills. Skipworth, good vision. Skipworth with the hand pass. Now they set it up for Ellis off the left leg. What's his accuracy like? It's pretty good. A goal to the Eagles. Well, a mistake coming out of defence from Paul Thomas, and the Eagles eventually were able to capitalise.
Gee, that was so un-Centrals-like to make that error. Again, it needed to be cleaned up, but great effort here by Newitt and Skipworth to get it to Ellis, and that was a great left foot kick by the big fella. I tell you what, I like the look of him. He really works hard and gets around the packs, gets around the right spots, but again, Skipworth, all-important part in setting that up.
Pretty handy on the wrong side of his body too, Dale Ellis. A lot to like about him. 2 quick goals to the Eagles at the 7-minute mark. They've really opened it up. Schooler crashes through, couldn't take it. Krieg, kick smothered, taken by Stokes. Stokes just jammed it. Hay, looping handball over the top to Gowans. Goes to Thomas. In goes Regolo, and he's met. A lot of courage there. Just met by Guerra. Sikalella not happy.
Look, there was nothing untoward about it. Great courage by Vinny, though, to go in head first. Put your head in the hole, I think they call it. The foxhole.
Won a free kick for his trouble. Hereda knocked it down. Beautifully right by Newitt, who got it away to Bock, who couldn't get on the end of it. Gowans is there. This is James working it. In fact, it's Swatala. So I'm getting... I don't want another Gowans player out there, Tim.
Could have had one, you never know.
Boundary throw in. 34 plays 7. The Eagles, in a spirited quarter and a bit of football, showing the league leaders how it's done. Pack of players. Hay, sit out for the young man on debut in Ware. might have got a free kick. Floriani on hands and knees. Ball filtered out the back to Bock. Bock's got a man loose. This is Skipworth, who's knocking up getting the ball. He just turns it over, coughs it up to Swatala, and the Doggies want to switch.
They do switch. Nothing much though now ahead of Steinburner, so he'll have to run, and he does run. He is quick. He's got nobody coming towards him, and he's just burning off Ellis. So Steinburner goes up towards half forward. Stevens again.
How could see?
Oh, there's a wall, and it is Mark Stevens.
No, back.
Hands off. Henschel, considering the options. Good kick through the middle. Inkster likes to play on.
Always.
Inadvisedly playing on a couple of times, but this time it was pretty good, and Passador gets on the end of it. Quickly looks up, knew it was loose, but Passador perhaps thinking, I could kick this, takes his time.
Like a great forward. He knew he was within range, settle the whole thing down, kick a goal. That's what you got to do. But Timothy Inkster will always play on, which I reckon's fantastic, and he always swings on the left. Be alert to it.
Passador was. His accuracy, though, didn't reward Inkster for the smarts that he showed with the football.
It's a disappointing miss because he missed that by quite a margin. Not like him. It's a pretty good kick for goal, Mark Passador. Vinny Rugolo coming off with that bit of a knock to the head. Might just get a flannel on there, mate, freshen him up.
The smelling salts. Hay kicks to the outer side, getting in the gap. Floriani in front of Krieg, couldn't hold on to the mark. Needed to grab that, John Floriani. Couldn't do it. Sikalella, ball just squeezed out. Steinburner toward the line, it just wobbles out. Nathan Steinburner had plenty of the football, Moggy. There's Vinny Regolo. Not quite seeing double, perhaps, but it's going to have a bit of a spell.
Nathan Steinburner 3 and 3 and 7 bounces as well, I think.
7 bounces, good. That's a good keeping stats on the bounces now. Well done, Moggy. You're a genius.
What about ball-ups? How many ball-ups have we had, Ross?
There has been a few, Neil, and I think that's because of the pressure that the Eagles have put in around the football. They're not letting the Central side break free.
Play on.
Free kick goes to the Eagles. Sikalella kicks it long. They fly. Brooks, good thump out of there. Krieg to off to Hyde. Away to Swatala. What's he got in front of him? Sansbury looked to give him something. Then Hay has found some space at half-back and loads up a long drop punt looking for Graham. He flies. Who's there? The man of the moment, Mark Stevens. Knocks it away to Leal. To Williams, who kicks a high ball, but Guerra will take the mark. Locked up by Newitt, but enough to get the handball away. Steinburner to Hopwood. He just leaves it for Gowans. This is James Gowans. Kicks it inside 50. Doing some hard running is Quentin Graham. Takes the mark. Now an angle. Will he go for goal? He does. Henschel gets back. And maybe he perhaps should have sent it. Team rules suggest that Centrals normally do.
Yeah, that didn't look good, did it?
The Eagles now trying to break down this side of the ground. In return, Wigley down towards the interchange area. Stevens will take it. No, he won't. Just over his head, surprisingly so. His judgment's been perfect so far. Debutant Ware is thrown into the race. Now inside from Hay, the hand pass to Chris Gowans, up looking for Shell. Good position for Shell. Missed the ball. Sikalella coming in. Shell over it now. And we'll get a bounce down surely, yes.
Again, making sure that Centrals don't get an easy possession. Henschel in there with a great tackle, holding the ball there. They'll set up. Hopefully Lindsay gets his hands to it. They can clear it. Centrals, on the other hand, they need a goal desperately.
Getting to the midway point of this quarter, 28 points down, Central District. Henschel just stopped himself from kicking the ball. Now out of the pack, the snap coming in from Guerra, misses everything out on the full. Hall will take the free kick and plays on immediately. His kick was pretty good. Stevens will take this, I guarantee. Looks to play on. Hand pass over the top. Now, Eagles a chance to load up again. Ware, though, read it best. So the kid from Pirrie won't get to take his kick, or will he? I thought that might be reversed by Richard Williams. And Richard Williams just saying to Tyson Hay, explaining that you're not allowed to shepherd the player who's actually on the mark. So Ware kicks it in long. Shell is the target. Shell makes his way to the front. Allison slips out a hand pass. The Eagles still can't come clear, though. They got plenty of players in over the ball. Peter Williams has upset the crowd by picking out a free kick, and it'll go to Skipworth, so they get an opportunity to break from the back. Here's Leal.
Likes the left leg, Leal. That's a wobbly old ball. 2 against 1.
He had to come back.
It's coming back, is it?
No, he had to come back because that side was 3-1 contest. He's done well to get that ball out of bounds because a 3-1 contest, he had to double back, come back to grandstand side. There was no option.
Got to be careful when you ask for a hand pass.
It's not always a good thing to give it. Boundary throw in. Lindsay tries to throw Schooler out. In goes Steinburner. Been very aggressive at the football today, Nathan Steinburner.
No, there were no need.
Another bounce,
Hey, let me have
35-7. No need.
Settle
Says
down.
umpire Richard Williams. Settle down, boys.
Voice of reason. Richard Williams.
Not needed.
A bit malign, controversial. Richard Williams.
Go, Lynn.
Schooler knocks it down. Hopwood there. Another boundary throw in. How many marks in this quarter to Mark Stevens?
Yes,
Six.
You're right, Michael. 6 this quarter, we're only half over, and 6 possessions this quarter as well, and 6 possessions in the first quarter.
Dries the bone coat there. You need it today. Floriani to Lindsay. Party trick by Skipworth if you get hold of it. Knows where he is. Taken by Stokes. Jammed it on the left boot. Bouncing ball. Passador. You heard the crowd say go hard, Passer. In goes Sikalella. And another bounce.
Sikalella's come up with the football. A lot of pack situations. Him and Skipworth. Skipworth there just trying to show his new juggling act that he's got going.
Schooler and Lindsay go at it again. Williams and the Gowans boys can't get it either. Finally, it comes back at the Eagles' way. They tow the ball forward a little way. Passador did well. Sikalella, awareness, got the hand pass quickly across to Leal. The kick smothered, have another go. Now the left foot inside 50. Hopwood, brave, great mark. Quickly the hand pass off to Gowans. Doesn't know he's got somebody chasing him. Sikalella did well, put him off the kick. Stoneburner did well, took the ball away. I thought he could have got 2 free kicks, one for in the back and then one legged, but it didn't matter. The umpire said no, and now the Eagles have it. Skipworth finds his man in Leal. Takes his time. The Dogs have plenty of players behind the ball now as the ball goes in high. James Gowans opposed to Sikalella, who holds his head, says, umpire, I was taken high.
Did you hear that? Somebody in the crowd has gone berserk. He did well. He tried to draw a free kick. No harm in that.
Brooks clears that defensive area. Unfortunately for Central, doesn't go out of bounds. Now Allison receives from Stokes and will give it back to Stokes. Not the best of kicks. Not great decision making that time from the Eagles. Passador round the corner.
Oh, no.
Slipping in there might have been Ellis.
Yeah.
In the end, we'll get a ball down just on the 50. Big Lindsay making the tackle. It's just real man
hard.
under that weight was Schooler.
It's real hard work, isn't it, for Centrals at the moment? They really aren't getting anything clear. No 2 or 3 possessions that are actually linking up and creating anything. So the Eagles have done a great job to shut them down.
Lack of fluency is really hurting them, and did hurt them last week.
Tyson Hay, loose handball. Trying to make it good. Brooks on hands and knees. Steinburner. Another possession for him. Lucky kick down the line. A fellow 100 gamer in Bellow. Loves to dish off. Krieg over the top, so the Bulldogs are underway. Kick by Hopwood to half forward. Thumped away by Hall. Swatala running onto the crumbs. Good tackle. Leal takes him to ground. The tackling is one thing that has been pretty good by both teams.
It has been, and the Eagles especially, they know that they've got to get onto Centrals quickly because their use of the football is normally very good, and they've done well to shut them down.
Richard Cochran coming on the ground. We'll get checked with Sodas in just a moment. Ball knocked away, taken by Guerra. 28 points the difference in favour of the Eagles. Long kick by Brent Guerra. Matthew Stokes, eyes on the footy. Hall just slipped over and just takes it out of bounds. And hasn't Matthew Stokes become a very, very good SANFL footballer after making his debut in last year's final series?
I reckon he's a great little player. He's got great presence of mind, knows where the football is, good vision. I'd just like to see him work a little harder, perhaps in the gym area, just to build up his body strength so he can take the knocks, and then really work on his fitness because he can go another level, I reckon. He cannot do anything about his height. That is something that I learned over the years of trying.
There's no pills that you can take. You just buy big boots.
Long sprigs.
Long sprigs, that's right. Bounce down, good one too. Thumped over the top. Man of the moment, Stokes went to ground too easily. Mark Stevens won the football.
Got to get that out.
He may get pinged here. At the back, Gowans to Gowans. On the end of it, Chris Gowans round the body. One behind.
It was almost mirror image the other end where James picked it up and snapped it on his right boot and missed the target, and Chris has done it at this end. They really need a goal to just break their own shackles, Centrals, and the Eagles have just put great pressure on. They've already got a goal in this term, and or couple now, and the quarter's already into the 19-minute mark.
Yeah, approaching time on. Williams with the kick out. Very long kick, very good kick. Steinburner immediately belts it back in for Centrals. Williams will come hard. He won't be able to take it. That's brave. Knew it.
Yeah, well done. That was a very, very good mark. Had to stand on that for a long time. Steinburner is probably one of the few shining lights for the Central side. He's just been getting heaps of the football and trying to create something.
Blotted his copybook by missing that mark. Graham, though, tidied it up. Gowans, infield to his brother James. Newitt came, has done very well. He's in trouble now, though. They'll fire on the Eagles and they'll give away a free kick. Bello too high on Floriani, but the Eagles have the advantage. Here is, with his 7th mark of the quarter, Stevens swings it wide to Henschel. Back to Stevens through the middle might be the play. Cicolella decides no. His kick is high, sets a task for Ellis. Well blocked and roved in the end by Henschel. Still in trouble, draws a man. Ellis now will be run down. No, he won't. Big kick inside forward 50. The aim was Filippo. Filippo blocks.
Good bounce.
Oh, great bounce for Passador. Another goal for the Eagles. Oh, if you could only bottle a bounce like that and use it on demand.
There was one player who used to play the game a long time ago who used to read that sort of a bounce, Paul Bagshaw. You couldn't hope for better than that. I reckon he meant it, but that one was an absolute beauty for Mark Passador. Good play, though, by the Eagles. I mean, they just kept on the pressure. Newitt, you've got to come back to that back pocket performance of Newitt. Took a mark and then he intercepted a pass, and, you know, he drove the ball up to the sort of wing position where Mark Stevens was a part of it again with his 7th mark, and just a great performance at the moment by the Eagles. And, you know, Ron Fuller would be pleased with everything he's seen in this first half. Just persistence now to keep it up.
33 points the difference, and a couple of interchanges down there, Mark Sotis. I noticed Cochrane was on.
Yeah, he did come on, replace Matthew Krieg, who's just having a breather, so I think he's part of their rotation.
Biggest comeback from a half-time deficit this season, 29 points. Port Adelaide against Glenelg, so there's a long way back for Centrals, and it might be a record way back.
Well done by Ellis. Good mark. Dished off to Bott. They go inside 50 again. Filippo. Passador might get this. Just worked his way into it. Guerra, reverse torpedo out of there. Bouncing ball. Hopwood held without the football. Surely a free kick. Umpire on the blind side, picked up by Newitt. That's another high kick. Hoping for a mark. Big pack of players. Passador had another go at it. Couldn't take it. Brooks, the handball out. On the rebound, the Doggies. Ware, lack of confidence. Got a call, though, from Guerra. Nothing much to kick to. He's got to kick it down the line to a contest. At the back, Sansbury. He lost it in the flight. And a good mark taken by Allison. Just had his eyes on the footy to Henschel. Good mark by Allison. He's getting back. Cicolella has time to measure. Looks for Filippo. He'll fly. Couldn't take the mark. Passador kicked the goal a moment ago on the right boot. Snaps with his left. Will it have the legs? No. Hay just got there in time to knock it over for a behind. 34 points the difference in favour of the Eagles.
Mark Passador just missed a couple of marks earlier in the piece, hit his hands and then bounced off, and he would have liked to have finished off with a goal there just to keep the real pressure on. Eagles have really lifted there. You can tell that they've got a bit of buoyancy underneath them.
They'll lay down the far side of the ground, then his kick was smothered. Speaking of ruining your confidence, that will do it every time. Having taken a few bounces, Marco Bello's kick was smothered. We'll get a bounce down centre wing.
Well, Neil, I think you said earlier that nothing's been fluent for the Bulldogs today, and that was just another great example. A couple of bounces and then a bang, a great smother. Another good 1%er Ronnie Fuller will be pleased with.
Lindsay and Schooler go at it again. Perhaps Lindsay had the better of that one. Floriani, quick kick. Ellis on the lead, wants to play on, does play on. Stevens shrugs off a player, playing with confidence now. Stevens, his kick was perfect, and Passador on the lead, read it well.
That's fantastic play. Well done to Ellis too. I love the way he plays in front, crashes in and really works hard, gave it off. Stevens, just a good football brain, that bloke. And Passador's causing a bit of trouble up here.
12 possessions for Passador, including 7 this quarter.
On They're the most accurate side, and I knew that was going to ruin it. Most accurate side in the SANFL, and Mark Passador just away to the right with that kick.
Ran that way, didn't he?
He ran that way and he didn't look confident with it, Michael, and that's unusual for him because he's a great kick for goal, but a couple of misses can do that, dear.
1 goal 3 for the quarter for Passador. Long kick out, spots up Bello from Hay. Steinburner gets around. The Doggies need a goal. They need it now. Kick looking for Shell at the back. Good fly. No mark taken by Cochran.
Great tackle.
Lovely tackle, as you called, Tim.
Well, in the end, he probably unlucky not to get a hold on the ball decision because Williams had a bit of a chance. He was around the outside with the ball, so good tackle.
Spare parts man this year, Richard Cochran, back into the side today. Lindsay, Sharkwell by Gowans. That was Chris. High kick. Henschel v. McArdle. Off the boot. Taken by Cochran. He may kick a goal here. Kicks to the goal square. Quentin Graham. But Stephen Hall, good enough. Get in front. Take the mark. Eagles doing everything right at the moment. Every attack, the Dogs go forward. They're up to the task. If it's not Mark Stevens, it's Hall or Allison or Henschel mopping up. Crowd gets impatient. Hall just loads up a long kick. Looking for Lindsay at the back. Mark's been taken by Bello, who dishes off to Hopwood. Hopwood kicks it forward. Sainsbury will fly. Nearly got it. Also, Cochran got a piece of that. Stevens pushed off. Got it back to Stokes. Just loads up a long left footer. Went out of bounds on the full. The mark taken by Bello. Just gets around easily. Bello inside 50. Brilliant chase. Ball kicked in. They fly. Shell. McArdle. He's kicked one. Dropped the footy. Gowans has kicked it behind. So they can't take a trick, the Bulldogs.
Well, that was the first time they really looked like putting a lot of pressure on that goal square, but Bello and Hopwood, they're trying to create something. They keep the pressure on. Nearly.
We'll be on 25 minutes in the second term now. Play on call. Williams took it well, or Wigley in fact. One of the W's anyway. Skipworth now. They've got it out to Stokes. He's well and truly at half back for the Eagles. The breeze has sprung up somewhat, I think, Sodas, and it is favouring the Eagles into the ground.
Well, yeah, Neil, we're not a little short because it is swirling around, but favoured the left to start and perhaps the right that quarter.
So half-time, the Eagles 6-7-43. Powerful first half from the Eagles. Central District 139. And Tim, really a good quarter.
Okay, fantastic effort by the Eagles. I think Ronnie Fuller will be very, very pleased with what happened there, and nothing they didn't come off, and a fantastic performance. Central's late in that term, started to create something, and I just see Stephen Hall really enthusiastic about his back six and the great performance in that first half. Want to continue it on in the third term.
So 34 points the margin here at Woodville at half-time. The Eagles up. What a great performance by the home side. And Tim, take us through those goal kickers.
Passador with 2 for the Eagles. Filippo, Lindsay Ellis and Vinnie Rugolo with singles. And Centrals won't take long to get through that. McArdle.
Pretty obvious, isn't it? And if we look at those stats overall, gee, what do you make of that? The inside 50s surprisingly close still, aren't they?
Yeah, you're right, and I don't think they've been dangerous inside 50s for Centrals as they have for the Eagles. And look, probably a little overuse of the handball by the Eagles at this stage, but that means they're getting plenty of the football and using it pretty well.
Look, one of the reasons that Centrals hasn't been able to go forward effectively has been this man, Mark Stevens. He's had a great first half of football, 15 possessions and 7 marks playing across half-back.
Yeah, well, he would have been disappointed with his performance last week, and I just think it's because he was just a little bit underdone, not enough football under his belt for AFL level, but he's come back today full of the pride that he's got as a footballer and put on a fantastic display in the first half.
Yeah, so often he was the lone figure taking the marks and just repelling the attacks of Centrals and doing the little things as well as disposing of the ball so beautifully to set up play.
Yeah, great stuff there by him and good highlights.
Down to Sodas, and tell us about the first half, Sodas.
Well, Neil, it was fantastic, wasn't it, for the Eagles? Ron Fuller spoke about the sluggish starts that they have had during the year. They were keen to start well, and they have done that. Importantly, during that second quarter, they were able to add 3 goals against the Breeze.
Are you sure about the Breeze, though, Sodas?
I'm certain. I actually went out there. I stood in the middle. I've been throwing blades of grass up, and it is definitely the scoring end, the left of screen, even though the flags and also the windsock defy that.
Yes, that flag that we're watching there blowing to right of screen, but you're saying kicking to left of screen is the way to go.
It certainly is. There's no doubt about that. And in the reserves game, the majority of the goals were that end as well.
So what? But anyway, thanks for that, Sodas. I'm sure you're right. We'll just look at other matches now around the place. And Westies, big leaders at half-time over the Bays, 53 points. South Adelaide leading Norwood at Norwood by 16 at half-time. Somewhat of a surprise. Greg Anderson and his troops have finished off the season pretty well.
They've had some great moments during the year, and they've had some very low ones as well.
Yeah, well, that's true. They've had a couple of victories, which have been great, but a lot of losses by more than 10 goals. Sturt at Unley by 26 points over North Adelaide, and here at Woodville, 34-point lead for the Woodville West Torrens side at half-time, and Michael Maney is going to take up the commentary for the third term.
Thanks, Neil. Central District have not lost 2 in a row since round 13 and 14 of 2001. They are staring down the barrel of that at half-time in this match. They kicked their lowest score for the year last year, the lowest score by any SANFL side, 4 goals for. So they will chase 34-point lead that the Eagles have built up in the first half of football. Good bounce by the umpire, Schooler. Just took it out of there. They'll need an early goal. Centrals, they've just kicked 1 for the first half. Well played by Stokes. Got it to Skipworth, so the Eagles machine away again through Bock. On a long lead is Regolo. Got a nudge from Guerra, free kick. Advantage rule was paid by the kick by the speedy Inkster. Kicks it inside 50. Phillippo couldn't get it. Jamming on the boot was Hopwood. High kick, Wiggly. And Gowans, loose ball, running onto it, Shell, got around. He's moved okay today, Shell. Bello, was that a handball? Goes to James Gowans, spearing kick, Sansbury. Couldn't take the mark, well done by Henschel. Just cool and calm out of there, developed as a backman this year in the SANFL. Henschel has got Regolo, and the kick was good, needed to be. And Vinny Regolo at half back for the Eagles. Got around Bello too easily. Could have done better with the kick. Sloppy old ball to half forward. Hopwood good enough to keep it in. Handball over the top, looking for young Ware. Chopped off by Inkster. He coughed it up. Inkster got it back to Bock. Lively start to this third term. Ellis, who always plays in front, good below his knees, to Bock. The handball chopped off. Some elementary mistakes being made by both sides. Kick long by Hay. At the back, Shell. He's taken a couple of those. Handball missed the target. Cochrane, he kicks it inside 50 to the pocket. Sansbury gave Hall a nudge. Matter of speed. Sansbury tried to kick it off the ground, knocked through, kicked off the ground by, it looked like Paul Allison, and a behind.
Correct weight there, good call. Had a lot of pressure on, wasn't it, to race there. Well done, Henschel just got a foot to it, and Allison made sure to rush behind was the result.
Boys, just to add to Central District's injury woes is the word I think I'm searching for there. Stephen Brooks has strained his driver in that first half, and he's just got some ice on at the moment.
Well, that is a concern.
That injury list gets a bit longer, Neil Cross.
Yes, on top of all those other players, including the skipper Daniel Healy, missing this afternoon. Simon Arnott, another key player, he's on the boundary. Josh Kilter will miss the rest of the season with a broken jaw.
Top work, sicko.
They're in a bit of trouble, Centrals, you would think, as they sit atop the ladder, but they're under pressure this afternoon and perhaps for the rest of the season. Here's Hay breaking from the back, from the wing, thumps it long inside forward 50. McArdle can't get rid of Henschel. In fact, Henschel did very well. Now he's in trouble. Umpire will come in and bounce the ball. 30 metres out from the Central's goal, and they do need a goal. Look at that score. Only got 1-4-10 on the board. Early days in the third term. Here's Lindsay, Henschel. Good avoidance of the players, and then just a half kick out to Bock. Takes his time, picks out Williams off the wrong side, or his non-preferred side. Just scrambled it outside 50, out of bounds as you see on the far side of the ground. Run that by me again, Sodas. The wind is favouring the left of screen.
Yes, definitely, Neil. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Very hard to understand.
It might be actually a whirlpool, and it's favouring up one end one way and just
don't
whipping
get too
around
involved.
that
No.
Whirlpool. Whose mum's got one of those?
There it is.
Stephen Hall. Chips it outside. Mark number 8 to Mark Stevens. Still inside his defensive 50. He was the reason, a big reason why the Eagles held up well in that second term. They want to switch. Just gives it off to Henschel. Shorts it to Nathan Bock. They want to play the other side of the ground. Nathan Bock. Ron Fuller would have to be happy with the way Bock has played the second half of the season. He kicks looking for Lindsay. Pumped away by Schooler. All in dispute. Stevens, body in, as always. Pack develops. 33-point lead at the 4-minute mark to the Eagles.
Nathan Bock, 16 possessions, 5 already in this quarter.
A lot of ball down in that defensive area, and Bock and Henschel have been pretty good when it's come in.
A couple of AFL-listed Crows. Floriani just finds the line. And impressed with that man's game too. David Newitt has put himself in for the football.
He had 13 possessions in the first half.
He had a particularly good second quarter, a couple of real good movements which resulted in goals for the Eagles.
I think a former Glenorchy captain in Tasmania. Long kick inside 50, chance for the Bulldogs. Eagles defence holding up well. Hall over the footy. Allison on hands and knees. Handball out. Sainsbury a chance just for a split second. In goes Ware. Tackled. Williams dragged it in. Ball out of bounds. A lot of hands went up there from Bulldogs players. Boundary throwing.
You heard the umpire explaining he got it out, but he got it out directly to the boundary too, so perhaps if not holding the ball, maybe deliberately out. Ball thrown in now. Lindsay over the ball, surrounded by Central's players. Now it comes out to Shell from Gowans, gets it back on the 1-2, James Gowans. Shell, then to Hopwood, likes a goal, can't kick the ball though. Here's Shell around the corner, hoping for the best, up in front of the danger area. Steinburner, has he got the pace to get away? Uses Graham, that surely's not 15, it isn't. Plays on Steinburner, that may be 15, and that is a goal for Central's. Boy, they worked hard.
Well, Central's fans go berserk. They're very excited about getting a goal, and that man Steinburner, I said, had a really good first half, just worked hard and got involved in this piece of play 2 or 3 times to result in a Chris Gowans goal, and it was hard work, and it's been a hard day for him so far, but that's a start that I think Roy Laird would have liked, just to get a goal on the board and try and get this machine going.
Still a long way back. Good goal to Chris Gowans, goal number 35 for the year, so far 35-18 for Chris Gowans.
9 kicks to each twin today, although James had 7 handballs and Chris just the 1.
Almost identical stats. Taken away in the ruck. Steinburner, who really looks like he's set himself for his 100th. Gowans again, handball to Cochrane. So good signs here for Centrals as Cochrane kicks toward half forward. Stevens committed the body. Krieg, who is a handy player, scrubby ball for Chris Gowans. Oh, that's a throw, surely. The old backhander. And he's not too happy he got nabbed for that.
Yeah, he just scooped it in the end. Good intelligent thinking though, good intelligent football brain, but just scooped it, see that? Needed to tap it.
Well, what about that kick out of bounds on the full? A rare mistake by the Eagles defence. Tom Weegley.
It's a tough one up the line with that breeze, but got to get it right.
Cochrane centres the ball, as they do so well, but getting in the way, Allison.
Good courage too. The Eagles, all the defenders have kept their heads up, back and taken marks.
Allison would like to have switched that ball, I think, but in the end, they've been defending for a few minutes, the Eagles, and they're a little bit tired, I guess, coming out of defence, and now you see they're a little bit stilted for options. Here's their options on the bench as Henschel called the play on. Hay will come and knock the ball away from Passador, who then took it on the 3rd or 4th touch. So Passador with the mark, he looks downfield, just kicks long, but Lindsay was the target. Calls his man in Ware. Elijah Ware from Port Pirie in his first game this afternoon. Not the greatest of kicks, but almost effective. Williams comes from behind, takes it away from Bello, and then Cochrane slams Williams into the ground.
Good tackle, and it's good to see the boys getting around him and getting the enthusiasm up, and something that probably wasn't there in the first half.
Richard Williams with his back to camera, bouncing the ball. Schooler couldn't get ahead of Lindsay, who then flipped it out forward of the play. Krieg, though, intercepts for Centrals. Now Graham in trouble, can't get the arms free, can't get the ball free. Umpire will bounce again, and we're inside the centre square, slightly to the Central District end of the ground. They're kicking to the right of screen, which isn't favoured by the breeze.
It's confused everybody. So does, you've really started something down there. You can't enlighten us any further. When's the next shower of rain going to come across?
Well, actually, only moments ago there was a sun shower, but it has stopped, so I don't expect another one for probably about 24 minutes.
There's O'Hara. Into warm-up. Lindsay knocked it down. Shark by James Gowans. Jammed it on the boot. Stevens will thump this ball toward the line. McArdle try and keep it in. Big Sam couldn't quite get it. Boundary throw in, 9 minutes gone. Early goal to Chris Gowans in this term. A beauty off the left boot. Has given the Bulldogs some hope. There's Marco Bello just in the foreground there. Number 7, playing his 100th game. Originally from Victoria. Where a boy from Port Pirie tried to get the footy, but Vinny Regolo locked up by James Gowans. Umpire Peter Williams quickly in on the scene. Stagnating bit of play here at the moment.
They're going to make them work for it, the Eagles. They're just going to keep blocking it up, forcing the issue, forcing the bounce.
A lot of packs develop. Wiggly got it out to Stevens, who fends off. Chris Gowans kicks a wobbly old ball, not one of his best hoofs. Out of bounds on the full, so a chance for Centrals to perhaps snare another goal and give them some heart. They wouldn't be totally out of it. Guerra, who normally kicks the ball long distances, this is no exception. Waiting for a high mark, knocked away by Stephen Hall, and that defence of the Eagles continues to stand up.
It has done all day so far, and Hall, one of the best defenders going around, always likes to get a fist to it. He did particularly well on that occasion, but certainly blocking it down, though. They've got to try and get the ball up their end and get an answering goal, because otherwise another goal might just give Centrals enough hope to sort of lift their spirits and go again. There's only 27 points in it. It's certainly not out of their reach for such a side of their class.
Just waiting on the throw in, about 70 metres from the Central's goal. Lindsay comes from behind Schooler. Schooler gets the ball down. Battle in hard, and we'll get another bounce surely. Yes, umpire. He comes to separate the players. Gee, it's drifted this game now, hasn't it? 10 minutes into the third term, and the sting not really there.
Well, I think the Eagles are doing their job. They know that they've got to keep it close and hard and tight. And Centrals are trying to break free.
Ball still in dispute in close. Hopwood shows how it's done. Round the corner, up in front of goal. Stevens, or at least Hall, it is. So either one of those defenders at the moment, tall defenders for the Eagles, getting the ball out of play. Justin Cicolella, one of the McGarry medal favourites there, just holding his eye, perhaps. Might have got a poke in the eye or something.
Not doing yourself any harm today either, Neil. 20 possessions, more than anyone else on the ground.
Lindsay comes from behind McArdle, who I think towed the ball forward. Now on the ground, he goes to pick it up. Gowans has a free kick in there somewhere. It might be James Gowans to take the free kick, and it is. James Gowans last season in round 5, 3 McGarry medal votes against Woodville West Torrens. It's 33 free kicks for this season. He's #1 in the league before this game. He's also, of course, conceded 29 free kicks. That's before we started today. So he's top 10 in free kicks against, and he's #1 in free kicks for. James Gowans lines it up, kicks a goal. Well, here they come, as Tim suggested. Just one more goal, and you just think that maybe Centrals will be on a roll.
Well, it certainly will open up their enthusiasm gland anyway, because it's been pretty low, but they've worked hard for both of their goals on this occasion. Look, that was just probably an unnecessary free kick given away, and it's cost them a goal and a bit of enthusiasm, like I said, starting to open up now for the Central District side, because 21 points. Supposedly the wind's going the other direction. They'll be able to come home with it.
Change on there. We'll go to Sodas in a moment, but the Bulldogs have made a change. Here goes Regolo for the Eagles. Couldn't quite get through. Loose handball, run on by Steinberner. He'll have a bounce. He really is digging them in. A couple of bounces to Steinberner. Kicks it long inside 50. Would have liked the kick back. Didn't quite steady it. Well done, Williams. Took the mark. Shorted up to Hall. Dangerous kick, but Stephen Hall good enough to take the mark.
Disappointing attack then from Steinberner. Did everything right. Just didn't get the kick to the correct side of the forward. Didn't give him a chance.
Hall kicks to the wing. Passador sells Newitt into all sorts of trouble. Good enough to get it to Stokes, to Floriani, to Bock. Bock goes in short to Ellis. Just set him up, Parada.
Left a screen by 21 points midway through the third term. Allison taking his time. He's a raking left footer. That one no exception. Good distance. O'Hara couldn't take it. Elijah Ware was at the front of the pack, took it well. The hand pass not great. Now they work it forward. Centrals go into the open. Here's Chris Gowans inside 50 with a long kick looking for a mark. Can they get one? No. Ball to the front. They have the numbers there. Well done by Cochrane. Comes towards Thomas. Stevens decides let's rush another one through and set up again.
Just gives you an idea, I reckon, of the tempo that's lifted in the Central's outfit since those 2 goals. And, you know, now all of a sudden let's rush it and not try and take a risk. Eagles have to keep taking those risks that they've been doing in the first half and get themselves a goal in this term.
Inside 50s, 33 to the Bulldogs, 29 to the Eagles. So efficiency's been there for the Eagles.
Michael, sorry, another change. Hayden Skipworth, one of the key playmakers for the Eagles, has come off, and Brett Leal looks like he's a loose man in the forward line at the moment.
Thanks, Mark. Good spot. Williams kicks it long to the outer side. Shell at the back. Forced to go the thump away. Kept in by Sansbury. Clever player. Maybe he ran it out of bounds. It'll have to come back. Boundary throw in. So the Bulldogs have looked a bit better, if you said, Tim. Goals to both Chris and James Gowans in this term, and the Eagles, who haven't scored one.
Well, it gets them in, you know, scoring range now. Gets them in the fight. They weren't in it beforehand, and now 20 points is not a lot.
O'Hara has got a fingertip on it. Second effort was good. So too Arnold. Krieg for the Bulldogs. Boot inside 50. Williams just judged it best. Ran it out. Cochrane there to provide some sort of a contest.
Inside 50s this quarter, Central's 14, Eagles 2.
Smoggy, there's Ron Fuller.
Ron Fuller and Shane Reid just studying what they might do with their matchups at the moment. They haven't done too badly thus far, but they've really stagnated in this quarter in terms of scoring. Here's Krieg for Centrals. They'll go inside 50 again. Krieg's kick ill-directed. Casador, what's he doing deep in defence? The centre-half forward option takes the mark for the Eagles, comes to Stevens. This guy's had plenty of the ball this afternoon. Stevens goes short, the lead from Jeffries. Now Jeffries' options are few. Goes long, looking for Ellis. And good mark taken by James Gowans.
That was a good mark.
Just that ball fading in the wind across to help Gowans out. Ellis couldn't get there. Gowans goes long with one of the worst kicks you'll ever see. And who else but Mark Stevens stands in the way, not for the first time this afternoon. Moggy.
That's double figures for Stevens now. 10 marks, 21 possessions.
Nathan Steinburn has done all right as well, just taking another possession now from that mark, intercepting the kick.
Neil, I know it's windy, but an amazing amount of interceptions today.
Might be just clever players, Tim.
That's it.
Just read the ball. Steinburner having trouble making his mind up and then makes a bad decision, another intercept. Well read by Stokes. Hopwood was good enough to make it work in the end. Hay loads up. Hay from about 80 metres carries the pack over the back, out of bounds in the forward pocket. Daniel Shell looking forlornly at the umpire, thinking, well, maybe I could have got a kick for that.
Well, Stokes did the right thing, got his intercept in, but didn't take the football. He could have really turned that one over and made them pay. But in the end, Central's another opportunity to get a goal.
What was he thinking of, Steinburner? Boundary throw in, O'Hara knocked it, Bello, roved it, right footer, he's popped it through, Marco Bello in his 100th game. Kicks a goal, and they've got 3 unanswered goals in this term, the Bulldogs.
Oh, it gets exciting now, doesn't it? 14 points, this is what I was saying. They've worked particularly hard, Centrals, as you heard Ian Mogridge say. They had about 14 to 2 inside 50s. It's been up their end, and you know, eventually you're going to have to get goals when you're that deep inside your 50. And that's what they've done. They've worked hard for their goals, and they've got this enthusiasm up and running.
The Eagles under pressure. Paul Allison, one of their defenders, sitting on the bench at the moment. Just waiting on the bounce in the middle. And the Eagles, attack-wise this season, are ranked 6th. Only kicked 91 points a game, and now they look to come forward for one of the few times. Regolo. And a great kick by Regolo finds Filippo on the chest. Ellis is going back to the goal square. Filippo fancies the distance, pops it up. It hasn't favoured his team. Kick into the forward pocket. The bounce favours Herrera in the end. Tries to crash through. Ware, good presence for a young man. Now Guerra loads up, kicks outside 50, long kick, carries the pack, well done. Henschel read it best. Henschel now, players loose in the middle, Cicolella one of them. Cicolella can break, go towards goal. What's he going to do? He's in trouble now. The options didn't go the way he wanted, and he's turned it over in the end. Bello, hand pass off, Sansbury, a lot of space in front of him. Sansbury breaking towards goal, kicks it inside 50. Here comes Schooler on the lead, almost a one-hander. The game's picked up now. Schooler tried to get it inside 50. That's better. He's a ruckman. Tap it out. Bello on the left leg. Bello, can he score it round? No, it's a stray. It won't even make the distance. Shell opposed to Stevens, who got it out of bounds in the forward pocket. Mind you, this was the position just a few minutes ago that they set up a goal from.
Well, I tell you what, guys, Cicolella, great footballer, but at times he just does not want to kick the ball. It's like he's got two broken feet, and he just wants the handball every time, and that time he just had to go direct to goal.
Over finessed, that's for sure. O'Hara got it down. Gowan, so a kick was smothered. Falls out the back to Inkster, who gets it to Bock, so the Eagles reload. Bock goes to the outer side. That's a good kick to Skipworth. He's back on the ground now. Hayden Skipworth. Outer side wing, doesn't know who to go to. Nathan Box on his own in the centre square. Decides to kick it down the line.
Where to?
To Heath Hopwood. Hopwood squares it back up to Steinberner. Steinberner on a full burst, won't have a bounce this time. Kicks it long, Stokes couldn't smother. High kick over the back. O'Hara couldn't take it. Stevens, great tackle by Cochrane. Will he be rewarded? No. Sections of the crowd, the Central's crowd, boo. And umpire Williams will bounce.
He's a great tackler for a little bloke, isn't he? Got right in there, regardless of the arm pushing against his face. He just held on and brought Big Stevens to the ground. Fantastic tackle.
Generally goes for the hips as well, Richard Cochrane, which they do teach. Another bounce, so the Bulldogs on fire at the moment at the 21.5-minute mark. 3 unanswered goals. Chris Gowans, James Gowans, Marco Bello. Umpire Richard Williams bounces the footy. Big pack of players. Cicolella got the handball out to nobody. In goes Thomas. He's wrapped up in another bounce.
Under siege at the moment, the Eagles lead by 14 points. That margin at halftime was 34. The Eagles have not scored in this quarter. Ball down. O'Hara gets to the front, over the back. Tap down towards Ware, loads it up. Schooler from behind, down to the front. Accidental kick through as a goal. Oh, you wouldn't believe it from Cochrane. Amazing. What great reactions. The soccer goal that you would not see better in the English Premier League.
This is fantastic, front and centre, and it's an opportunist goal, and you've got to be there to have the opportunity. So well done to himself, and I think, you know, when you do the hard things in life, you've got to have something come off for you. And he did that fantastic tackle around half forward. He's really put his head over the footy and done a great job since coming on, and he gets a miraculous goal. And I tell you what, we've got a game on our hands now, boys. It just has been a hard slogging effort by Centrals in this term, but they're back in it.
8 points the difference, 4 unanswered goals in the term. Arnold flies higher than he ever has, taken by Cicolella. Handball looking for Leal. They fight over it, both he and Stokes. Stokes just lays on the football and pays the price.
Yeah, good decision, you can't hatch it.
Bello gets the free, wanted to give it off to Guerra, who's a punishing left foot kick. Didn't seem to want to kick the ball at times, Marco. It's not a bad hoof from there. Long kick, Shell! Couldn't take the mark under pressure from Stevens. Ball hits the deck, in dispute, they dive on the footy. And a bounce. The Bulldogs are coming very hard, Tim.
Well, they are, and it's been a great quarter. It's been a real hard slog for that first 15 minutes, and then the next 8 have been all electric. Every time they go inside 50, they look like scoring.
Bello dishes off to James Gowans. Here they go again. He kicks it inside 50. Sansbury was there, but Henschel takes a timely mark for the Eagles.
Just setting it up perhaps a bit that time, and Henschel again able to get Sansbury out of the way and take a mark. Now Passador, again very deep for a forward. In the back pocket, can't get much deeper. Henschel, just 20 metres out from his defensive goal. Takes his time. Richard Williams will call on him to play on in a moment. He comes towards Stevens was the target. He never ever was going to get that far. Now Cicolella feeds out a hand pass to Stevens. Now Floriani in a bit of space, takes his time, high kick. Hay will get first to the ball, will take the mark. Well done, got away from Hewitt. Hay puts himself under pressure on his right side, goes towards Chris Gowans, loads it up, back in front of goal, and a great mark by Shell. Oh, here they come, Tim.
First time he's really got free from a one-on-one tussle, isn't it? And he got across to be able to jump across that pack and take the mark. Great grab.
Back at half forward as we watch a replay of that Daniel Shell mark. Half a dozen of the Central's players all coming in, patting each other on the back for their efforts. Daniel Shell will complete the move with a goal. Just knocks the ball out of the ground. And the margin back to 2 points at the 25-minute mark of the third term.
You just felt that the Eagles were hanging on and playing defensively. Great mark and a goal up by Cam View there. But just felt that they were hanging on and playing defensively, and just to sort of see out the quarter and then come home and run over the top of them. But Central's, through their hard work and discipline, worked their way into the contest, got 2 really hard-earned goals, and from there they have flowed a lot quicker.
The signs have been good for Daniel Shell today. He really has shown some promise. He's been sticky fingers, he's presented well, his game has just sort of gone up from the last few weeks where he's been down.
Today. Sorry, mate, when he gets into those tussles one-on-one, that's where he comes undone.
Yep, 5 marks and 11 possessions today.
It's been okay. 2 points the difference. Back in the centre, James Gowans, who's got some handy football in this term. A left footer to the outer side. Cochrane, who's been lively. It'll beat both he and Williams out of bounds. Another centre break to the Bulldogs. There's Richard Cochrane. Picked that freakish goal. 5 unanswered goals in this third term. The premiership quarter, the third term.
They've come alive, haven't they, through hard work. That's all you'd want, just to keep your nose over it. It's a day where the conditions where you have to just work hard.
Who would have thought at half-time the Bulldogs down by 34 points. If you'd like a copy of this and any other game that ABC Television do throughout the SANFL season, there's the number 08 8343 4601 during office hours. And at a very good price, you'll be able to get some top-class SANFL football. Taken by Arnold, just dishes it off, just a scrubby kick. Steinburner, who tries to burst his way through. I'll tell you what, Nathan Steinburner's come to play today, that is for sure.
Yeah, he's really been alive, isn't he, even since the first half. Yeah, it's like they've had to replace the footy. Has to knock the leather out of that one with a few goals.
I think it was the one that took a while to come back from over the fence.
That ball just about to trickle through. Schooler tries to keep it in. Was it kicked off the ground? It is one behind. It might have been James Gowans who got a loose boot on that.
Just have a look at this. He's just got a hand to it. Yeah, touch. So, good effort there. Just on the last line, but I tell you what, they're a lot more desperate than that normally, the Eagles, in the first half. They would have got that ball over the line for a rush behind a lot easier. So Centrals are keeping things alive.
Skipworth with possession for the Eagles on the far side of the ground. Deep in time on. Perhaps, maybe, one last opportunity for Centrals. Not to be there. I'll get a throw in, though.
It's a great effort, though, guys. You know, that first 15 minutes, you said that this thing had gone out of it a little bit. They were just working really hard to get back into the contest, and they broke it open, and this last 10 minutes has been superb.
Here's Stokes. Peter head past the Skipworth. They might be able to get a last-minute score here. Skipworth's kicks astray, though. Now coming the other way, Centrals. No, we won't get a score before three-quarter time. So 1 point the margin at three-quarter time here at Woodville. The Eagles 6-7-43, holding on. Central District 6-6-42.
Well, the Central District's fans were having a fair crack at their players coming off at half-time, and really wanted to see a bit of endeavour and a bit of enthusiasm out there, and they certainly got that in the third term. They were superb, and I just thought the efforts of all the players in that quarter would have been very pleasing for the coach.
Just the 1 point, as we said, the margin. As we look at quarter by quarter, what a comeback from though. 5 goals unanswered in that third term.
As you can see, Neil, they weren't in it, were they? 1-3 at half-time, and really looking down the barrel of the Eagles. They just tried to play probably maybe too defensively, and Central's really worked their way back into the contest. Great effort.
Look now at some of the efforts of Richard Cochrane, and in particular, we will see a goal that was very special.
Here it is here, off the pack, inside left foot through the goals. Fantastic goal, and you've got to be front and centre to do that. He was that.
And like I said, you do the hard work, you get the easy ones. But the goal scorers for the Eagles, Bassett Orr with 2 singles to Filippo, Lindsay, Allison, Rugolo, and that doesn't change since half-time. And Central Districts, a lot of singles. Bello, Cochrane, McArdle, Chris Gowns, Daniel Shell, James Gowns.
Well, look at those stats overall. Moggy, top 2 from both sides so far.
Yeah, for the Eagles, Justin Cicolella with 24 and Mark Stevens 22, and for the Doggies, James Gowns with 24, I think it is, and Nathan Steinburner 18.
The usual suspects in many ways. I mentioned James Gowans winning the McGarry votes last year in round 5 against the Eagles, and yeah, it's just quite amazing. It's a long injury list that Central's carrying into this match, of course, there's no doubt about that, and gee, they have stood up under pressure in the end, haven't they? If we look at some of the injuries last week, Matthew Slade going down with a shoulder, and early on just being clipped there and doing the collarbone from memory.
He goes in hard, the little fella, and it's going to be a really bad miss for the Central Districts Footy Club.
That was all but the first bounce of the game, and as you see, Heath Hopwood, he wasn't trying to get dirty, he was very shaken up, and we see that punch which has cost Craig Parry 5 weeks, and I don't know about that.
Just not good.
5
Just
weeks,
not good.
not good at all.
Silly when it's right near the end of the game.
And another player was injured, Daniel Healy. He's carrying a hamstring, the captain, and Daniel, disappointing, I guess, that match last week in terms of both the result and those injuries that you've managed to pick up.
Yeah, certainly, Neil, when you play Port, you like to come away with a win at any stage in the year. I guess the result didn't mean a lot for us, but you know, pride's on the line, and we certainly, the injury toll is a disappointing thing as well.
And yourself, you personally, you've obviously hurt your hamstring reasonably badly. How long before we'll see you back on the track?
Yeah, I'd probably be touch and go for the first week of the finals. Luckily, we've got a bye that week, so I get to rest it anyway. So I'll miss today and South next week and be right for the second semi against West in a couple of weeks.
And obviously a challenge for the side this afternoon. Already 34 points down at half-time, back to a point at three-quarter time. Did you get the sense at half-time when you were in the rooms that this was coming?
I must say the boys are pretty frustrated. I think in the last 6 quarters, you know, for the first half this week and last week we kicked 5 goals, and so we're certainly struggling to get much going through the midfield and up forward. But there was certainly a belief and a feeling from a lot of the senior players that we just keep persisting. Things hadn't gone our way out here today, and we just keep persisting that maybe they'll turn it and to at least come off the ground having a real crack at it. And I think you saw in the third quarter they did that, and we got a few results because of it.
And Daniel, Tim Ginnivan, just wondering, before finals with a double chance sewn up, have the boys had a little bit of a problem getting motivated over the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's an issue we've had to deal with the last couple of years. We've sewn up this double chance late in the year and had the last few games. But, I mean, it's something you've got to deal with. There's players playing for their spot, and you know you can't switch form on and off. So you'd like to think not, but we have gone through a period where we've trained fairly hard as well, and I guess you can look to use that as an excuse. But as I say, there's that many blokes out here who know that they're under pressure for a spot. There should be no reason to be complacent at all.
Well, let's hope that complacency doesn't take over, Daniel, and you can get back in this match this afternoon, perhaps win it. Thanks for joining us. And now we'll go across to Sodas, and Soda's been listening to what's been said in the huddles.
Well, Neil, it was a remarkable turnaround that quarter with the Bulldogs. They were just irresistible. Roy Laird, very confident the group is, as you would well imagine, after that effort in that particular quarter. He went around and highlighted the individual work of some of the players, the Shepherds, the Tackles, the Smothers, the one percenters, which Central Districts pride themselves on. He's going to start Damien Arnold at full forward, and I am certain now, standing in the middle of the ground, that the breeze is definitely favouring the team, kicking to the right of screen, so the Eagles will have it at their backs.
Thanks for that, Sodas. We do have some doubts about Sodas, though. He's doing some modelling during the week, so I'm not sure about his assessment of the breeze. I don't know about that. Anyway, we'll catch up with him in a minute as we look at the matches coming up. West versus Sturt next week. Another case of 2 finalists meeting. West Adelaide will probably finish second. Potentially, if Centrals lose today, Westies could even perhaps snatch the minor premiership. And those other matches still to come as well as we go back down to Sodas.
Yeah, boys, with Gavin Chaplin out, super turnaround, wasn't it?
Yeah, we started to win some ball around the stoppages and got some free ball and got forward pretty quick, like what we didn't do in the first half.
What was the message from the coaching staff at half-time?
They beat us around the stoppage and beat us pretty easy.
Well, it certainly worked, and good luck. Now, we're just trying to work out with this breeze. Do you think it's turned around at half-time?
I don't think there's much in it at all.
Okay, cheers, Gav.
No support for Sodas there. Good to hear.
He's drowning.
He is struggling. So just tell us again, modelling during the week, is that right?
I can't hear Neil. I'm having a problem with my earpiece. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to get support and get someone to agree with me somewhere in this ground that the breeze has turned around at half-time. Michael Maney.
I don't think Centrals will worry too much if they get up about what the breeze is doing. Here is Michael Maney with the start of the final term.
Oh, the howling gale to the right of the screen. Good on you, Sodas. A point the difference at three-quarter time after the Eagles led by 15 points at quarter time and 34 at half-time. Been taken back to just the 1 point. About underway, umpire Peter Williams gets us going. Round 22 SANFL football live on ABC television. Not a good bounce, knocked down by Schooler. It'll be hot. Taken by Hay to James Gowans. Here go the Bulldogs. They haven't been in front all day. Steinburner from outside 50. A little bit cute. Gave it back to Hay, who laid it on the ground. The turnover. Free kick. Now it's going to come back. Will it come back as a free kick to the Eagles? Or is it going to the Bulldogs?
Bulldogs. I don't know where from, though. Michael, Tyson Hayes got the free kick. So it was out of our vision, and looks like a 25 as well.
Well, I thought he just laid the football down.
He did, didn't he?
And maybe it's been for Mark Jeffries just holding on too long.
Throwing him aside. And obviously some words or something were spoken that the umpires didn't appreciate either.
Yeah.
Tyson Hayes kicked 2 goals, 3 this season. This an important goal, perhaps, to put him in front.
Well, he's nailed it.
6 unanswered goals in a row to the Bulldogs. What a comeback.
Fantastic, wasn't it? But I thought they'd overdone it here. I thought it really was. Gee whiz, play on for mine. But just throwing him, I reckon, was the penalty on Jeffries. And then obviously the words afterwards made it a certain goal. And I was going to say, boys, if Centrals can get the first one and get in front, they'll be very hard to stop.
Mark Jeffries perhaps paying for reputation as somewhat of a hothead. Pinched there for throwing the player aside after the ball had, well, what looked like fallen to the ground. So we get another bounce in the centre square. It is pretty hard out there. Considering the weather this week, you'd like to guess that they had that pitch covered.
I'd suggest that would be the way too. It's kept it nice and dry. Maybe that's the way Central's wanted it. Oh, sorry, Eagles.
I was going to say, Central's on the phone, were they?
They came out at night without them knowing, Neil, and just put a cover over the top and whisked it away in the morning.
Get another bounce down. A couple of 0-0 draws so far. Particularly at other grounds. Sturt by 16 points over North Adelaide, near three-quarter time. Passador with the hand pass out for the Eagles. Too severe. Try again. This time better. Skipworth. Jeffries couldn't handle it. Finally he did. Now Wigley off the left foot. Inside 50. Not quite or just. But in the end, Hereda took the mark. Got his man out of the way. We do have those three-quarter time scores from other grounds. I'll get to them at the next break and play. Oh, well done. James Gowans just robbed Floriani of the ball. Set his side going forward. Swatala with the ball. Running hard for him is Krieg. Into space though. Krieg takes the mark. Well, he made that hard, didn't he?
Did it very well in the end though, Neil. Superb effort on hands and knees to take that.
Now Thomas, can he pull it in? No. From behind Allison. Just knocking it away. Sikalella, not the greatest of hand passes. They're under siege. The ball high now from Bock. Mark to be taken by Chris Gowans. He does take it. Gowans looks back inside. The Eagles under siege. And the Bulldogs are coming hard. Kick up, looking for Shell. Won't get there. Lindsay with the strong mark. And Paul Lindsay will relieve some of that pressure for the Eagles.
Kicks to the outer side to the run of Skipworth, who has a man over the top. In a bit of space, Regolo. Awkward bouncing ball below his knees. Regolo locked up by Gowans. Thrown to the turf. Guerra, good hands. Hopwood got a call back from Guerra. So Guerra cuts through the centre of the ground, gets around one, kicks it long, inside 50. Eagles defence needs to stand up. Shell couldn't get it. Here comes Marco. It gets it to Cochrane. Cochrane just jammed it on the boot. Be a bouncing ball. Swatala couldn't quite nail it. Hall hemmed in on the boundary line. Just wait for it to go out.
So scores from other grounds. Sturt by 16 points at three-quarter time over North Adelaide. South by 10 points over Norwood. And Westies by 44, almost three-quarter time. Westies by 44 over Glenelg.
Ball deep in the heart of Bulldog territory. Shell over the top, knocked it down only as far as Sikalella. Sikalella kicks it long, looking for Wigley. And a free kick against Hopwood will go to Tom Wigley over the shoulder. 50-50, didn't see that one. And I think I might agree with you, Heath.
No. They're arguing about it. I suppose once the decision's made, you've got to get on with it.
You can lip read. You know exactly what Heath Hopwood said. Wigley from half-back for the Eagles. Kicks to a big pack of players. Schooler just sets himself and makes a physical statement to mark Steinburner to Guerra at centre half-back. Guerra gets around Regolo, but too easily, then thumps a long ball. Won't quite go inside 50. Shell's given away a free kick. No free kick. Ball spills out the back to Hall. Stokes running out of ground. Just kicks a high ball. Williams is there. Standing his ground was Krieg. Cochrane couldn't get it. Taken by Steinburner. Just pushes off. Wanted to give by hand. Decided to jam it on the boot. Kicks into the pocket. Running back with a flight. Henschel just the fingertips to it. And happy enough to run it out of bounds. It is a hot football, Tim Geneva. Well, and the Bulldogs have gone up a cog or six.
They certainly have. And in the first half, the Eagles did everything right in defence. They hit their targets and moved the ball out of there with not much pressure. And I think the way Centrals have picked up their game, it's certainly made it a lot tougher for the defence of the Eagles.
Centrals get it over the back. Bello on the left foot. Snap from Bello. Just hit at the last moment. Can't sneak it in. And the umpire has gone down and taken a player with him. That was Mark Passador. The umpire did see it. And it might be interesting on goal umpire Cam if we got it available. Have a look at this. Crack. Oh. Great technology. And besides which, it's still working. That shows how good it is.
Good to see the goal umpire smile too.
6 points the margin.
Marco Bello, the perfect opportunity. Hit the post, taken by Williams, and he boots it long to the outer side. That is a very good mark by that man, Steinburner. Will kick it back inside 50, so the play, all with the Dogs. Williams takes a good mark. Just held his ground and took the mark.
Inside siege it go.
Sorry, Tim, inside 50 since half-time. Eagles 4, Centrals 28.
Significant. Henschel short, Sikalella. They need a goal. They need it quickly. We're saying that about Centrals in the first half. Poor kick. In fact, a good kick. Lucky over the top. Wigley. Thought that was going to fall in the arms of Guerra. Wigley goes short and finds Ellis, who takes a nice mark.
Ellis at half forward, still 70 metres from goal. Has a glance up. On the lead comes Stevens, who's been thrown forward, obviously. Stevens looking for the mark, couldn't take it. Off to Hyde did well. Good young player off to Hyde. Might have a future at a higher level, Tim.
Yeah, I know. I reckon he's one of those sort of tall defenders that could definitely be used. Oh, Passador takes out the goal umpire.
Well, did well.
Might be out with a corky next week.
I don't know about corky. Did well not to hurt his knee there. Ball thrown in.
Yeah, but you're right, Neil. I mean, off the Hyde's one of those sort of tall, rangy defenders that you don't get too many of, and he's got a good football brain, always gets the ball to the boundary.
It's changed. Damien Arnold did start the term at full forward. He's moved up towards the ruck now, and Sam McArdle's come on to that position.
Eagles with another opportunity inside 50, not quite, smothered. That kick from Skipworth. Gee, they're under siege. Look at the Bulldogs going in, living up to their club nickname, Bulldogs.
Lifted enormously though, haven't they?
Where was this in the first half?
Yeah, there was no pressure whatsoever, was there? And the Eagles were dictating play. And the Eagles have had this game wrested away from them just through hard work. And now they're having rare inside 50 attacks.
Regolo get a free kick for holding? No, he won't. Umpire Richard Williams satisfied. Wasn't Regolo anyway, just knew it. Ball will come back in.
Good shot of this, boundary umpire. Throw in, taken by Arnold to Gowans. Just hit a wall, knew it. Kick smothered by Schooler, falls back to Hay, chopped off by Skipworth, who ran over the football. Plenty of pressure on out there. You need to take it one grab or you will be nailed.
Yeah, they've got to create something out of this, the Eagles, because they haven't been inside 50 a lot and they need a goal desperately. They've had 7, is it now, in a row kicked against them?
Yep.
Something like that.
Ronnie Fuller pointing the finger. Knocked down by Arnold beautifully to Ware. Quick hands to Gowans. It was Chris Gowans to Hay, who kicks a high kick. Henschel Knocked away by Allison. Rove front and square by James Gowns to Steinburner. Now he's got a paddock in front of him. He's had one bounce. He'll burn anyone off Nathan Steinburner. A couple of bounces over the top. Good handball. Here they go. Handball over the top to Thomas. To Bello. Another goal. Dogs. Magnificent running football by the side that will finish on top of the ladder. Marco Bello.
Well, there's the player that finishes off the goal, but I want to come back to the wing position here, right in front of the ABC commentary box. And Paul Allison has gone up in a contest where he should have stayed front and centre. He's punched the ball down to the two guys who are only Central blokes in front of him. Here it is here. 3 Eagles up, 2 Centrals down. That's where the damage was done. Great work, the ABC cameraman.
Tim Ginnivan minding his P's and Q's as the ball goes down. Arnold. Here we go to Newitt. Newitt inside 50. Oh, and well done. The Eagles for so long were able to stand up at the back, and Brian Hereda is now standing up for the Dogs. Steinburner on the far side of the ground, takes his time.
Coming out for his 24th possession. Probably BOG.
Thanks, Moggy. They've won their past 9 games against Woodville West Torrens, the Dogs. A lot of confidence there, perhaps. The Eagles got a bit nervous. It certainly stopped. Inside the hand pass finds Chris Gowns from his brother James. Taken to ground by Floriani. Cop one for his quarter. James Gowans just belts it up inside 50. McArdle under it. Mark. Opportunity. Wait on the umpire. Thought he might have tried to go on then, McArdle. I said earlier, he's only playing his first game since round 4. Looking around for options. Acute angle. Hard to tell, but I think he's got the breeze in his face. So this will be a difficult shot. Sodas.
Yeah, I think it'd be blowing, aiming to the right, the breeze, and it is blowing into his face. He's going to go with the check side, I would have no doubt in saying, and it's going to be hard to bend it back against that breeze.
Thought your confidence was shot on your predictions there for a moment, Sodas, but you came through.
I don't think he'll kick it though.
Sam McArdle, he's going to go with the conventional drop punt. What's he like? Acute angle, he's missed everything. Arnold comes in, can't take the mark to ground. The Eagles repel the attack. No, they don't. Out of bounds, or will we get a bounce down? One or the other. It will be another contest that the Eagles will want to win. 12 minutes ticked over, 12 points the margin. Centrals have come from 34 points down at half-time.
They're making it happen, aren't they? They're making the things happen inside packs now, Centrals. They weren't doing that in the first half.
Schooler down, roves his own ball. Leal wants to switch, under pressure, foot race, Steinburner and Jeffries. Not too many will beat Steinburner, but the ball beats both of those players out of bounds. The last goal for the Eagles, kicked by Mark Passador at the 20-minute mark of the second term. That is, in fact, a long drought for the Eagles. It's been all Centrals in that time. They've kicked 7 unanswered goals, maybe 8. Taken by Sikalella, kick smothered. Lindsay did the roving across to Jeffries. Free kick, advantage rule paid. Jeffries goes on, long bomb down to Stevens. He can't take the mark. Hereda wearing him like a glove. Stevens does the donut, just kicks it around the corner looking for Passador. Can he mark it? Yes!
What a mark.
Umpire said play on, or did he play on? Passador, confused, goes to Wigley. Wigley, the handball, back, looking for a goal. It was a throw. You think there's a bit of pressure on out there, for the Eagles at least. Taken by Krieg, and he turns it over, butchered the kick, and the mark taken by Lindsay.
So they'll line up again, the Eagles. They haven't scored since half-time. Big long kick by Leal, just finds space, and eventually they run out of real estate. It is a big ground, but not that big. Ball out of play over on the far side of the ground.
Just lost their way, Neil. I think the Eagles, at the first half, they would have hit a target with that. They would have ran the ball up and a little bit cleaner with their hands and better inside the pack, and just let Centrals get on top in that area.
Swatala couldn't get a clean hand pass. Now he does. Arnold. Oh, now he's in trouble. He's gone. Oh, no. Got a foot to the ball. Lindsay couldn't get a clean hand pass. Now they crowd in. Now we will get a bounce. 60 metres from the defensive goal of Centrals. Nathan Steinburner just struggling with a blood nose there.
Yeah, well, he really crashed into Lindsay in that last marking contest, and I reckon he went in head first.
Lindsay flipping the ball out, still Hewitt battling in close, number 40 for the Eagles. And we'll get another bounce down. Richard Williams, the umpire, in control at the moment. Moggy, just those inside 50 since half-time ago?
It's now 8-30, but at one stage it was 28-4.
In favour of Centrals now.
That's right.
Amazing figure, isn't it? No wonder they haven't been able to score. Lindsay just taps it forward. Krieg in the way for Centrals. Lost it, dropped it perhaps. Umpire said no. Throw it in.
They have to get a goal now, the Eagles. If they're going to win this game, they have to get one now. Give themselves enough time to work back into the forward 50 and get another one, because it has been all Centrals. They haven't looked like getting a goal since half-time.
Ball in dispute. Across the shoulder. Free kick will go to Gowans. This is James. 15-minute mark of the final term. The Bulldogs have taken control of the match. Guerra is casually out of half-back. No one goes to him. If someone does, it'll just set up a loose man. Guerra with about 4 or 5 bounces in all. Kicks long down the wing. Graham! Had his name written all over it. Had the run. Quentin Graham kicks a wobbly old ball to half forward. Which way will it bounce? Trapped by Hall. Ridden into the ground by Cochrane. And umpire Richard Williams gives him a free kick.
Gee, that was experience from Hall, wasn't it? If he didn't throw himself forward, I'm not here. Have a look at this.
Oh, that hurt. Hope he's all right. That really
hurt his neck, I reckon.
Yeah, that was a nasty one. Really bent his neck. I'll tell you what, that's going to hurt in the morning. That was nasty.
It's a bit groggy on it too.
Oh yeah, I don't think he'll be able to take that kick. That really, you better come off, I reckon. Get that checked out properly.
He's in a bit of trouble.
That was dangerous. Just have a look at this, guys. As he goes down and then bang, his neck goes. Oh, see that's nasty. I mean, Cochrane went with the momentum of the play. He couldn't stop. But you've got to get those sorts of things checked out straight away.
And Steinburner off too, so there's a bit of action down there.
Yeah, my head's spinning like Linda Blair's was in The Exorcist with all this action going on, but Stephen Hall just in the hands of the doctor there, so hopefully he'll be all right. We'll try and give you an update soon.
Thanks, Mark. Regolo uses a bit of pace to break it up, and the kick was good to Allison in front of Shell. Had Henschel running by, decides to go back into the corridor and load up a long kick. One for the high flyers, they all go, no one can take it. Who's front and square? Taken by Sikalella, just runs out of space. Should have dished it off quickly. Well done. Ball foxed out by the Bulldogs, kicked off the ground by Thomas finds the line.
Sikalella's presence of what's around him in the second half has been completely different. First half, he was dynamite and, you know, grabbing the ball, quick hands. But now, as we see Hall getting that neck checked out, I hope he's okay. That looked nasty, but, you know, Sikalella just hasn't had that presence in the second half. He's been tackled and, you know, had the ball turned over on him.
He's just had 2 effective kicks in the second half and the one that went backwards.
Centrals are going a wide open forward line. They're a long way from there, of course, at the moment. This kick at half back. It's Justin Sikalella. So Schooler to take the kick at half back. Nobody inside forward 50 except Daniel Shell and his opponent Allison in the goal square. So the ball driven up, far side of the ground, comes to ground. Skipworth, clever head, past Newitt, quickly onto the boot. Stevens favoured by the kick, couldn't take the mark. To ground it comes. Whack, they go in close again, and the umpire will call for a bounce.
Fierceness at the ball and the body. That's what's really lifted Centrals in the second half, and Steinburner, he set the pattern. He really knocked himself around when he crashed into Lindsay. But he's been superb since the first bounce in his 100th game.
Looks like he may well have blood in the mouth as well as coming from the nose. Sikalella trapped. Another bounce, still on centre wing, slightly favouring the Eagles' end of the ground.
Won't be a long quarter either, I don't think.
Oh, well, 2 goals. Not a lot of scoring, and of course, as we said, the Eagles had not scored since half-time. Thomas around the corner. Bounce in the end, favours Williams, just got it into open space. Here's the pace of Ware in his first game. Great presence of mind. Got it back to McArdle. McArdle inside 50. Centrals have the numbers. One of them can take the mark. None of them can in the end. Leal gets a lovely hand pass out. Steady from Henschel. Not steady enough. Play on though. Fortunately, Thomas lost his feet. And the umpire will now bounce it in front of the Eagles faithful. This is tight. 12 points the margin. just ticking into the last minute of regular time before we go into time on.
Lindsay knocked it down. The Eagles need a goal. Filippo got it to Newitt. Newitt just hit Regolo. Takes the mark in the centre of Woodville Oval. Dishes off to Jeffries. He's got Filippo. Filippo needs to give it off. Poor handball. Well done, Marco Bello. Jeffries, the handball back to Sikalella. 1 tackle 2. Just got the handball away. Needs to give the first option. Filippo held onto it for an eternity. Then coughed it up to Hopwood, whose handball missed the target to Gowans. Gowans over the top. They open it up to Cochrane. Cochrane inboard. Great kick. Great vision. Gowans is on his own. Dropped the footy. That's Chris. Good enough to get it to Hopwood. Hopwood, 30 metres and closing. They can do no wrong in the second half. Central District. And the Eagles continue to fiddle with the football while the Dogs just get so effective inside 50, Tim.
Well, I'm going to demand that we roll the tape back again to this wing position where, again, just overuse of the football by the Eagles with a series of handballs came unstuck and Central's turned it over with great pressure. Here it is. Just superb work in close. They continue to run. Beautiful stuff. Great kick by Cochrane inboard. And plenty of time because the turnover had been made. Everybody had run from the defence for the Eagles. And it was a bad turnover.
Well, under Jeff and Martin in the tape room, just looking after us there, getting us back to what Tim demanded. The ball down inside the centre square. The Eagles have been asked a very big question, having in the first half posed a very big question of Central District. 34 points the margin at half-time. The Eagles have not scored thus far in the second half. They trail by 18 points, and we're into time on now in the last quarter. Newitt, hand pass forward, Regolo, off the left leg, great kick, Inkster, hardly sighted today with the chest mark leading out.
Poor bugger, it hasn't been down there that often, Neil, in the second half.
Come out for his 4th kick, 8 handballs.
Quick score from other grounds, stirred by 25 over North Adelaide. A pretty gallant effort by North Adelaide. Inkster too close to the mark. Now we'll get another opportunity. Closes from 35 metres, again a smother. Both ineffective kicks. Inkster will not get a third opportunity. And Hay will break from the back for Centrals. They have all the answers at the moment, although that kick just carried too far. Williams pulls in the mark for the Eagles. Not a lot of forward options for him. Just forced to belt it long, looking for a mark. Stevens comes, great mark.
Yep.
Mark
Excellent
Stevens,
mark.
and lovely little bit of faking from Chris Gowan. Stevens tries to take advantage. That ball smothered as well. Well, that's too high. Stevens gives away the free kick now.
Frustration. Off to Hyde, smothers this beautifully. They've had 2 or 3 smothers in succession. They're 1%ers, everything lifted in the second half. Hard work got them here, and it's going to be a great victory.
Elijah Ware kicks to centre wing to Thomas, who's found some space. Just gets around Leal. Short kick in. Man on his own, Krieg. The Dogs continue to come along. Long kick by Krieg to a one-on-one contest. Just drifting in as Williams. He's been pretty good. He's got some handy footy out to Floriani, who has had little impact on the game. Floriani. And there's a player down in the box there. I don't know quite who that is. The ball's gone out of bounds in the meantime. Is
Filippo.
that Filippo, is it?
Yep.
Copped a heavy knock by the look of it. A bit of claret about there. There's been a bit flowing today. Steinberner's been off with a blood nose.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to stop that bleeding. He might have to come from the ground, I believe.
Time ticking away for the Eagles. The Bulldogs have been rampant in the second half, and they wouldn't mind this at all. This is how it happened to Filippo. He marked Stevens.
Stevens, yeah, on the way through.
Cop that.
Right on the beak. And a cold day, guys. You know how your eyes water? A cold day, you get hit in the nose like the under-11s when the ball goes through your hands. That's what's just happened there, poor bugger.
Another game, Sturt lead by 25 points and South by 2 points. So, a couple of reasonably close ones there. Sturt leading by 25 points. Who are they playing, Neil?
North Adelaide. North Adelaide at Unley.
North Adelaide at Unley.
And Norwood and South is that match. Norwood trailing by 2 points.
Good work as Sam Filippo makes the long trek to the interchange bench, and then ultimately with the plugs in the nose.
And Michael, I don't know that there is a premiership favourite at the moment because all teams have been up and down in this last few weeks, but
you'd want to say Central Districts, the way they can turn it around, are a dangerous unit, aren't they?
They certainly are. And with 4 or 5 players out, and the Eagles, their best chance to beat them in a long, long time. Big, massive players, another bounce. 24 minutes gone in the final term. Scoreless in the second half, the Eagles.
That's really disappointing after a superb first half. Ronnie Fuller would be so frustrated. They have an enormous amount of turnovers in the second half as well. You know, just poor vision and poor execution of their kicks. How they turned it around from the first half was beyond me because they were superb.
Hotwood breaking, looking for Ware. In his first game, Ware opposed to Stokes. Stokes had the better of it. Now they get an opportunity. No, they won't. McArdle with a great tackle.
That's been the big turnaround for me, Neil. The tackling of the Central Districts in the second half has been what the Eagles had in the first half. I mean, Ronnie Fuller was so pleased with the tackling that they had, and they were up and amongst it, and Centrals have just taken that over, taken the lead.
There's Bello, couldn't get foot to ball. Umpire will ping him for holding the ball. Free kick going to Skipworth. Centrals have won their past 9 against the Eagles, and they're on their way to their 10th win. Eagles haven't beaten Centrals since the 30th of June 2001. More than 2 years.
And their best opportunity today, Neil. They set the whole thing up beautifully and just, well, they'd be very disappointed with their second half.
The last win here over Central Districts at home, round 5, 1999. So, gee, there's a drought going, isn't there? Ball to ground, and again, tied up. Ciccalella with the tackle on Krieg. Another bounce. Just quiet now, drifting over this game. 18 points the margin. Well under time on, ticking over to 26 minutes. And Centrals have control. And how disappointing would this be for the Eagles? How much of a blow to their confidence? So we see that 23 minutes into the second quarter, their last score, Mark Passador kicking it behind. Ball down again, Schooler over the back, Rigolo with possession, but also possessed by 3 doggies in there and tackling. Ball's gone nowhere for about 60 seconds. James Gowan's a bit of a problem with his hand out of that tackle. Ball down again, Schooler again over the back. James Gowan's well smothered by Newton, then took the ball away, slapped it on the foot. Herrera will mark it, and Lindsay will give away 25, surely? No, it doesn't matter, siren time. And just for good measure, Guerra puts the ball over into the dugout. And a great victory for Centrals, coming from 34 points down at half-time to beat the Eagles at Woodville. The final score, Central District 9-7-61, the Eagles 6-7-43.
That's just amazing stuff, gentlemen. And I'm just flabbergasted, I think, as Ron Fuller will be tonight, trying to work out what exactly happened. I mean, that is 8 goals to nothing in the second half, and the first 15 minutes of the third quarter is what did it for me. It was tight and it was tough, and you could just see Centrals working their way back into the game, but they couldn't get the goals. And then 2 really hard-fought goals, one to Bello, one to Chris Gowans, just opened the door, and you could see that they were only 20 points down. Anything could have happened, and I reckon I mentioned Bello, and I reckon he's down on the boundary now with Mark Soderstrom.
Yeah, boys, I'm with a very happy 100th game. Milestone boy, Marco Bello, just a super comeback.
It was. I mean, the 100th game, it was a number at the start of the game, but after that comeback, it's boosted the confidence, and the boys are wrapped. I'm wrapped as well. It's fantastic.
Now, to go in at half-time 34 points down, there still must be a lot of confidence in that break to come out like that.
We've always got confidence in ourselves. I mean, we know we're a good team. We've come this far, and we're not on top of the ladder for nothing, so we're never going to give up.
And for a Victorian boy, look like you're enjoying South Australia?
Certainly am. Been here 5 years, and hopefully another 5 to come will be great.
Now, last week was very disappointing against Port Adelaide, but to turn it around today, it looks like you're going to the finals, like a pretty happy team. Yeah,
we knew that. I mean, we didn't get off to a good start again. They showed us how to play with a footy and the hard and tough stuff, so we had to come out today. Although we didn't do it in the first half, the second half certainly showed.
Well, congratulations, mate. Go and enjoy it, and pump Nathan Steinburner up, because I thought he was terrific as well.
I'll do. Thanks, mate.
Tell you what, Sodas, you'll be doing well to get that sort of interview out of Nathan Steinburner. He's a fairly quiet lad, and he's in his 100th game as well this afternoon. There he is, the long sleeves. He's also got not a great look to him at the moment. You can see a bit of an egg over that left eye, and also what I would think is probably a broken nose, as we just might pause and listen to the reception by the Dogs fans as the Central's boys go off the ground. Oh, they're a hearty band of supporters, Tim.
You're not wrong, and I'll tell you what, at half-time, I'll give them the reception they needed to get them up.
Oh, gee, these are the highlights from the whole game, and they will feature Vinny Regolo here and kicking the opening goal of the match at the 3-minute mark.
Well,
gee, they had options everywhere, and they looked great in the first half.
You know the classic old cliche, mate, it was a game of two halves. Well, no better example than today. We had an Eagles half and we had a Centrals half, and it just happened to be that Centrals half was better on the scoreboard. Just this is all Eagles first half. They were superb. Ellis, a great left foot goal there in traffic. They probably overused the football a bit, the Eagles, at times, but they were just superb with everything they did. And here's a great bounce for Passador, open goal, bang, and nothing could go wrong. But then through hard work and discipline, Central's got themselves back in the contest.
Passador went out of the game, Tim, didn't he, in that second half? And it was just a result of the pressure through the midfield of Central's, just cutting off the supply.
Well, you're right, cutting it off. I mean, they were under siege in that third term, and in the end of inside 50s, I think went berserk for Central's, 14-2 at one stage that they'd gone in. And this is when they've really turned it around in the third term. This is a great grab by Shell at the back.
He's going to do some damage in the finals. I just think he's starting to run into some sort of nick come finals time. He'll be a danger.
I think you're right. Nice dry weather day would really suit him, I think, and some great tackling here in close. They were really good the way they turned it around the second half.
That goal from Tyson Hay put Centrals in front at the 1 minute mark of the final term, and they were never headed.
That's a critical one, Tim, you spoke about with Allison flying.
Yeah, it's just the old one up and, try and get the rest down, and in the end, he didn't need to go up because he had two Eagle teammates there, and he ran really hard to try and get it back, but he couldn't do so. This is another one running back into traffic. This was a critical move which turned over to Centrals, and everybody had run from the Eagles' defence. It left them wide open for a turnover goal, and this is what occurred.
Cochran was good when he came on.
He was superb. He was one of the guys that really got it going with his 1%ers, and then great goal as well.
So quarter by quarter, gee, that tells its story of two halves, doesn't it? And the Eagles stood still after half-time. That's no mistake. 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. A very disappointing second half, and we'll run through the goal kickers quickly, Tim. In fact, we won't. We'll actually go down to Mark Soderstrom, who's with a very happy, I would assume, Central's coach Roy Laird.
Thanks, Neil. Roy, you made hard work of it, but it was a great comeback to stop the Eagles from scoring, kicking 8 yourselves.
Yeah, it was. As I said, we've made a bit of a habit of that in recent weeks, starting poorly, but good sides. I believe strongly in the group spirit. They remained that at half-time and still thought if we could just start becoming more intense around the stoppages, we were a chance, and we were. Proved that.
And what was the message at half-time?
Basically that, just become more intense. Like we simmed flat again in the first half. At the moment, people like Marco and Chris and James and I thought Ware when he came on, those blokes around the contest were really intense. We got our share of the footy, which we didn't get in the first half.
Is it a concern the sluggish starts over the past few weeks?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said no, but what the answer is very difficult to get out of. Like we were just talking here about how we instigate all that real sharpness, but the players are fully aware. They know that second half is where we're at as a football club, and we're just going to maintain that in finals.
Importantly, you got a victory though in a milestone game for both Bello and Steinburner.
Yeah, great team blokes, great football people, those two lads, and yeah, pleasing for them, and also first gamer in Elijah Ware.
Well, thanks Roy, good luck, and I'll let you get back to the boys.
Thanks Mark, thanks Mark.
Now we'll get to the goal kickers, Tim.
Beautiful. For the Eagles, well, exactly the same as the first half. Passador with 2 singles to Filippo, Lindsay, Ellis and Rugolo, and for Centrals, Bello with 2, and then singles to Hay, Cochran, Mercado, Chris and James Gowans and Daniel Shell.
And Moggy, leading stats from both sides, the top 2?
Yes, for the Doggies, James Gowans led the way with 31. He had 18 and 13. Heath Hopwood 26 and Nathan Steinburner 24. And for the Eagles, Justin Cicarella 28, 23 each to Hayden Skipworth and Mark Stevens.
Yes, contributions, at least on the Dogs side, from all quarters, hey? And we're going to have a listen to how they celebrated. Might have heard there a reference to Noodles. That's the young man Elijah Ware playing his first game. It's apparently something to do with the little ringlets of hair he has. Apparently has picked up the nickname Noodles.
He did okay too, I thought, in his first game. You know, he's a little light at the moment, but I reckon he's got a good footy brain.
Yeah, that's the thing. We did see it a couple of times, and look, he's got plenty of good guys to learn from, hasn't he?
Oh, he's got a good company around him, and it's nice to sort of put him in the middle and make him a little special for today. And the two guys in Marco Bello and Nathan Stoneburner in their 100th game. Great performance by both of them.
Look, it's more than 2 years now, as we said during the call, since the Eagles managed to beat a top 2 side.
Very disappointing today, Neil.
Where does that leave them with confidence and that, knowing that they've got the bye next week in round 23 before they go into their final against Sturt?
Well, they've always been this good, consistent side, the Eagles, in the past sort of 4 years, and what they end up doing is just winning the games they should win. And you know, if you're picking them in the footy tips, you always get a good result because you know that they're going to either win or lose. And unfortunately,
you know that
just
about
haven't
every
beat those
side,
top 2, have they? Well, 8 out of 8 every week, mate. Gets hard.
So does, you've been in the rooms and that. Obviously, the Centrals boys very, very happy with that result, and quite incredible, the best comeback from a side in the SANFL this season.
Yeah, it is a very happy place to be in the moment at the Central Districts rooms. No doubt, because it does give them a lot of confidence. They've had a side who are playing finals football in a couple of weeks' time, scoreless in the last half, so they can go into September very happy. Just down at the Eagles rooms here, just tried to pop the head in and see if we could see what's going on. But Ron Fuller, you wouldn't be surprised, has the boys locked away and could be very vocal in there.
Well, I've got the big question for you, though. Do you think the Eagles can go anywhere in the finals? Again, they've got the bye next week. They'll come off that bye and go straight into a knockout semi, a cutthroat semi against Sturt.
Yeah, true. Well, the Double Blues a couple of weeks ago looked like they were the form team, but suddenly they look like they are struggling. They've just got over North Adelaide by 4 or 5 goals today. It is a tough ask. The Eagles now have 2 weeks to prepare for that final against the Double Blues, who, remembering, are the reigning premier. But what will be in the back of their minds is that they were really obliterated by Central in this second half.
Well, so does, I'll put you on the spot now. Name your Magarey medalist coming up in a couple of weeks, and name your potential grand final matchup. Can you see the Eagles being there at all?
Well, I can probably see the Eagles dishing out a Magarey medalist. I thought Hayden Skipworth has been terrific this year, and he had that great purple patch in the middle of the year where there should be at least 4 games, I'd reckon, where he will perhaps go close to 3 votes. Grand finalists, I think Central Districts no doubt have been the form side, and I can't see the Eagles making it at this point. Sturt and West, and my loyalties would lie with the Double Blues.
As usual, well done to Sodas. And Tim, I'll ask you the same question, a Magarey medalist, and can you see the Eagles going into the finals further than that first game?
Look, after today, it's very disappointing. I think, like I said, they're predictable with who they're going to beat and who they're not going to beat, and I just think that they'd be hard-pressed to get past the first week, and if they did, they wouldn't go probably any further. So, disappointing for them.
Okay, and Magarey?
Magarey, I'm going to go for all Rovers, mate. Marco Bello, little Brett Ebert, Chris Hall, all had good years, and Hayden Skipworth. There's my quadruple for you, mate. All Rovers.
You do fancy Brett Ebert, don't you? Because
yes.
there is a tendency to think that's a Cinderella story, with his father winning, of course, 4 Magarey medals. Next week, let's look forward to round 23, the last round, minor round at least, of the SANFL. Sturt up against West Adelaide, and that's at the Richmond Oval, our ABC match of the day, from 2:30 p.m. and then the other games, Port against Glenelg down at Alberton, and Norwood against North Adelaide, and then Central's playing South Adelaide to finish off the year. We've mentioned, of course, the Eagles have the bye. Other matches this afternoon, West Adelaide by 37 points over Glenelg, still in play but obviously late in the match. Norwood beat South Adelaide by 5 points at the Norwood Oval, and Sturt beat North Adelaide rather as expected by 32 points this afternoon. Thanks for your company, and it was a great victory this afternoon by 18 points, Centrals over the Eagles. Join us next week from 2:30.